Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it.
Good morning. Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from LA. I'm Jenny Taft. Here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe. Good morning.
Good morning, Jen.
How are you?
Good, bro. How you
We
doing?
have a lot to talk about.
We do.
Starting now. How are you?
I'm good, bro. Good.
All right, here we go.
We have a lot on this show, but this one does have a little bit of a different tone, as some significant news broke last night involving Antonio Brown, and we're going to get right to it. As first reported by the New York Times, Patriots wide receiver Antonio Brown has been accused of rape by a former trainer. In a lawsuit filed yesterday, the trainer says she was sexually assaulted by Brown on 3 separate occasions between 2017 and 2018. Antonio Brown has denied the allegations, and the Patriots released a statement saying that the team is aware of the allegations. So, Shannon, this is just really coming out. So how should the Patriots and the NFL react to this, as we are reacting to it as well?
These are some very disturbing allegations, Skip. My job today is not to try this case. I'm very unqualified, and I don't think without having more information, we can do that fairly. I think we owe it to AB for him, allow him an opportunity to present his side of the case. And we also owe the accuser an opportunity to present her side of the case. Skip, they're going to be, I think what transpired in Pittsburgh over the last half of the season, I think of how the situation played out in Oakland, there will be some willing to jump to the conclusion that AB is a bad guy and he's more than capable of doing something like this. I don't really think the two mesh, and I'm not here today to try to put these two things together. Skip, there's a read in the question Jenny just asked, what should the NFL do? The question should have been, what should Commissioner Goodell do? Because this is solely on his desk.
It is.
Skip, this is why. See, people like, oh, he's overpaid, he's making $40 million, he get a private jet, lifetime health benefits. This is why those 32 owners gave him the big bucks. It was not to get these TV deal contracts. Skip, look, I'm not saying that's easy, because our parent company, Fox, became a major player once they got NFL football. So I think that's a little easier. These types of decisions is why he makes the big bucks, because this is not easy for him. Skip, I don't envy the position that he's in right now, because I believe equally as I am, Commissioner Goodell is unqualified for this situation. I wish he could pass this off. But he can't. He's the commissioner of the NFL, and it's solely on his desk now.
Article 46 says that.
It does. I believe the only way to move forward with this is that the commissioner needs to place Antonio Brown on the commissioner's exempt list. Now, by doing that, Skip, he's going to tick off 2 segments of people. The people that says he's innocent until proven guilty, and if he doesn't do that, there are the people that say, see, I told you, as long as you can throw, catch, kick, or run, you have a home in the NFL. So he's in an unwinnable situation, damned if he do, damned if he doesn't. But I think moving forward, this is the only way, because it gives both sides an opportunity to present their case. Because I don't know how with this, because Antonio, he's been radioactive over the last couple of weeks, Skip. I don't know how, given the set of circumstances that the allegations that's been brought forth, how they can let him play on Sunday. Now, I don't believe the Patriots are going to do anything. I think they'll stand down and let the NFL take precedent. Well, considering they have a guy that played Sunday night that's charged with cocaine possession, I know for 100% for certain they're not doing anything. They will leave this in the hands of the NFL. The NFL, I believe, will come. I don't know if it's going to be in the next day or two, but I think we'll have a decision by Friday, Skip, on the course of action that the NFL is going to take place when it comes to dealing with Antonio Brown. And I think the best case forward is to put him on the commissioner's exempt list, Skip. He'll still get paid, but it still gives both sides an opportunity to present their case. I believe that is the only way forward. That's the only fair way forward, if there is such a term as fair in a situation like this.
So I echo everything you just said, to the point that today I'm very glad I'm not sitting in the commissioner's seat. That would be a hot seat today. I'll be the first to say my head hurts because I've read so much about this lawsuit, and I'm out of my league. we are in the opinion business. That's what we do.
Right.
We debate. But today, I can't conclude an opinion on this because I just don't know enough.
Right.
I know what she alleges. I know what Antonio's attorney responds with. And this is going to come down to, if it ever goes to a jury trial, classic he said, she said,
Yes.
or she said, he said.
Right.
Correct.
And I have no idea what really transpired. Was it a consensual relationship or not?
Right.
And I can't draw a conclusion off that because I don't know enough to know, and I'm way out of my league in all the legalities that are surrounding this now. So all I know is I agree with what Nancy Armour wrote in her lead to a very good piece that was in USA Today today. And she says, opening line, Antonio Brown hasn't just crashed the NFL's 100th birthday party, he's hijacked it. This whole season, unfortunately, has been too much about the negativity surrounding Antonio in Oakland, and now, unfortunately, as he's joined the New England Patriots and is supposed to have his first practice today. And as I sit back and think about what the commissioner has to do, we're back to Antonio's ironic slogan of business is booming. As far as the commissioner has to be concerned today, Antonio is becoming bad for NFL business. Is that fair to say?
Yep. There's a lot of negativity surrounding this young man.
So much negativity. Over the whole last year, there's been nothing but negativity. And has he become a problem for the NFL to the point that he could be suspended simply for conduct unbecoming? If we look at the whole last year, yes, he could be suspended just for that. And that's independent of this woman's allegations. So if we step back, he does have, the commissioner, what's called an exempt list. And he could just put Antonio on the exempt list, that they could continue to pay him on the exempt list.
Right.
But how long do you keep in there? This is what boggles my mind, and I don't have the answer. Usually I have an answer, but I don't have an answer for this one because it's now up to the NFL to do its own independent investigation of these claims.
Correct.
And I'm going to assume they're going to start on that maybe today because she made it clear in her filing, I'm available for the NFL and all agencies. Please come talk to me because I'm here for you.
Right.
She's not running from what she filed. She's saying, I'm open to anyone interviewing me of any import in this matter, especially she started with the NFL.
And sometimes, Skip, and she feels very comfortable because sometimes they file this under the veil of anonymity.
Yeah,
Jane Doe
Nope.
or exhibit, it just goes by acronym. You don't
Sure.
see her, you don't
I
know
agree.
her name, but she feels very comfortable.
She is Brittany Taylor.
Yes. And she wants that to be known.
Okay, so if you put AB now on the exempt list, how quickly could you, as an NFL, and this would be under Lisa Friel's division, how quickly could you come to a conclusion about which side you take in this case? Do you think there's merit here or not?
Well, Skip, I don't think you can do this quickly. It's not about, well, how soon can Antonio Brown get back to playing? You put him here and you do your due diligence. If it takes you 6 days, if it takes you 60 days, if it takes you 6 months, you leave him there because you want to make sure you have all your facts, because people are very distrusting of the NFL. And as we all know, this is the 100th anniversary of the NFL. You know it because all the logos, the officials, everybody has that 100-year that silver patch somewhere on the jersey or on the officials' hats. So we know this is a big deal for the NFL. And this just fell in the lap. Because the Patriots says we had no knowledge of this. The NFL said we damn sure had no knowledge of this. But you have knowledge of it now. So, Skip, I don't believe you can move quickly. This is not about Antonio Brown getting an opportunity to play because you want fairness on both sides. And if it takes you an extended period of time, as long as you get this right, you have to be able to live with however long it takes.
Okay, so let's do the opposite hypothetical here. What if the NFL just says business as usual. They make no statement. We're investigating, but Antonio will be allowed to continue to play. What if this eventually does end up going to a jury trial? What if he loses the jury trial and the conclusion of the jury is that he did violate her, that he did sexually assault her?
Right.
Okay.
And
Civil is a smaller burden to prove, Skip.
it's smaller burden.
preponderance.
And they award her X dollars for all that she has gone through and continues to go through. How would the NFL look if they had continued to allow him to play? Are we back to a Ray Rice type situation where they moved so slowly on that they looked worse and worse?
Well, what happened, Skip, is that they suspended him, and then the tape came out, and he was getting ready to come back from suspension, and then they suspended him again. Now, he fought it, and he won. The judge says the tape didn't create new evidence, so you can't suspend him after you've already suspended him. So this is why you need to move slowly, Skip, to make sure you get it right. Because once you, the question is, and I think what you're trying to get at, if they put him on this list, they let him he goes back and plays. They have a trial, he loses. Then what do you do? Can you because theoretically, Skip, he's not suspended because when you're suspended, you don't get paid.
Yep.
You put him on this list, he still continues to get paid.
But he can't play.
He can't play.
Okay.
So you want to know what will his punishment be then? This goes to a civil trial, and I guess if the authorities look into it, he might be charged criminally. Who knows? But let's just because she filed a civil lawsuit. And I think what you're getting at, okay, he's on the commissioner's list. They put him on this list, and it says, okay, he goes back. They have a trial at a later date and time. He loses. What does the commissioner do then?
How bad would the league look?
They would look
because
awful.
we know that image is everything and should be everything
Yes.
to the National
Yes.
Football League.
They took a big hit. What was that, in 2014, Skip,
Yeah.
with Ray Rice and Adrian Peterson, all those incidents came out. I think
Yeah.
Greg Hardy was somewhere along in there too.
Adrian Peterson was for a little while put on the exempt list, but he had been charged with child endangerment.
Yes.
He'd been charged. There's no charge here because as far as we know, she did not go to the police.
Correct.
So there's not a police report that
Right.
we can say, aha,
Right.
this is what the police found
Right.
in their initial discovery on this,
That is
right?
correct.
Initial investigation. Okay, so there's one other angle to this. Michael McCann does a great job as a legal analyst for Sports Illustrated. So one strong point that he makes is it is notable that Antonio Brown did not negotiate a settlement of Taylor's claims before the lawsuit was filed, because in most cases, he goes on to say, that they have some communication back and forth about how much
lawyers.
do you want? You know, how can we satisfy you? You've gone through so much over this. Can we pay you X, Y, or Z?
Right.
And if there was any communication or negotiation on that account, apparently Antonio was, I'm completely innocent. I'm having to assume
Right.
that if there was, that he just said, no way, I'm not going to pay you a dime. And all but would dare her then to go ahead and file the suit,
Right.
which she obviously has done, and she's ready to go forward and push it to its conclusion.
Correct.
And then the other sort of weird part of this, and again, I'm way out of my league, but the filing says that they want in excess of $75,000. Well, that's not a whole lot of money to start with. Did they set the floor
Right.
low as possible? But I would think they would want in excess of X million dollars, right? To start with.
Right.
So that surprise
It's an odd way
you?
to put it. The in excess of.
Yeah,
It's just a weird
okay.
way to put it.
It's
I
a
guess
weird way.
that's the floor is 75,000,
Okay.
but we haven't gotten to a ceiling number yet.
Well, obviously so. So should Antonio, if she was open to settling this, should he have settled it? You could argue that would dispense with a lot of upheaval in his life and the NFL's life.
Yes.
But you could also counter that by saying he just believes he's completely innocent,
Right.
that they had a consensual relationship.
Correct.
She has text messages. She may have more than two, but she put two in the lawsuit.
Yeah.
Do they come off as potentially damaging to Antonio? Yeah.
They do.
They do. Are they authentic? Not sure. Could those be proven to be authentic?
I'm sure they could.
Does she have more of them that would come out in discovery in any sort of trial?
Right.
Could be. All right, so now let's go biggest picture. I'm going to look back quickly just through Antonio's misbehavior of just the last year that has nothing to do with her lawsuit.
Okay.
This is all pre-lawsuit. So help me out here. Let's frame this with what's happened to him just in the last 12 months. He acted, quote, without regard for human life when he threw furniture, including an ottoman, off the 14th floor balcony of his apartment in Miami that came within a couple of feet of hitting a kid who was a year and 10 months old near the pool. Through all kinds of furniture, I think pictures, other items were thrown out in a fit of anger. Okay? Then a month later, the wife of his daughter alleged that he shoved her down with both hands when she asked for money for the daughter's hair appointment, which he was supposed to be responsible for.
Okay.
So she reported that to the police. Then the next month, he skipped a court date for reckless driving when he was accused of going over 100 miles an hour in Ross Township, Pennsylvania, which was in the Pittsburgh area. He was found guilty. Then he was sued by a chef. Remember, because the chef claimed that he stiffed him on charges at the Pro Bowl, $38,000. And then another personal trainer said that Brown owes him more than $7,000 for services provided according to court documents obtained by TMZ. Okay, so those are all those little incidents that are pretty big, right? Some of them very big incidents, leading to what happened in Oakland, where the new GM, Mike Mayock, reportedly AB on the practice field in a fit of anger called him a cracker and threatened to punch him out in front of the team.
Right.
Not the prettiest sight in the commissioner's eyes, I would think. And then we know about the 2 grievances filed over the helmet. The cryotherapy, no criminal action there, but again, just another incident leading to this lawsuit. Okay, just the totality of that, the impact of all that I just detailed, is it enough for the commissioner simply to say, enough is enough? Could you suspend him just for conduct unbecoming of the league?
Oh, you could, but I think that if they were going to take actions with all those incidents, they would have taken those actions already. So I think they're going to have to deal with this lawsuit. I think they're going to have to deal with this in its individuality. I think they're going to have to take this and you would have to separate, because, Skip, if you look at all the things that you documented and then you put it with this, you're like, okay, well, it's a no-brainer. And I think that's what, you know.
By the way, all this has nothing to do with this.
That is correct. So I think that's why they're going to deal with this in its individuality. But I think the best course of action, I think for everybody, because he wants his side heard. She wants her side heard. In the NFL, Skip, look, he's a player in the NFL. And no matter what you think, for some reason, an NFL player does something, the whole NFL, it's the only business where that happens. I can assure you, if something happens like this at Apple, they don't say all the bad Apple employees. But that's just how it works in the NFL.
That is true.
And for some reason, I don't know why, but we'll debate that another day in time. But put him on the commissioner's list. Give everybody an opportunity, because the NFL, you're going to have to do your due diligence on this one now, because you whiffed a couple of times. And the fans came back. But I'm not so sure if you rush to judgment on this and says, okay, we're going to let you play until we figure this out, because, Commissioner, you said you can do something without a legal finding first. So I think he's going to place him on this list. They'll do their due diligence. It might be 6 days. It might be 60 days. But I think the NFL will do their homework this time to make sure they don't strike out and miss.
I would lean in that direction, which brings me back to the New England Patriots. As you noted in your opening answer, they've actually had a long history of taking on troubled players and winning with troubled players. Aaron Hernandez, they surely knew what his background was at Florida.
Yes.
And they won with Aaron Hernandez until he finally completely and utterly self-destructed. Obviously, the owner of the Patriots had his own off-the-field incident back in January. So is it possible that as a franchise, they sit back this morning and say, yeah, we do have a troubled history here with troubled players and off the field. Maybe this is the time we have to step up and say, no, this is just too much for us.
Skip.
That we have to make our own statement it's also possible the commissioner might call Robert Kraft this morning and say, isn't it time you step up and do the right thing? Is it possible that they just cut bait now? I don't know. Oakland surprised me by being able to get out from under all the money I thought they owed Antonio.
No.
Is it possible New England could get out from under the $10 million guaranteed? Could they get out from under it on the conduct unbecoming, or what I don't know, whatever the technicality would be that would release them from
that obligation,
what they owe?
Yeah. I'm sure they could if that was something they chose to do. But Skip, looking at this, we know one thing.
And by the way, you mentioned the Patrick Chung is hanging over them as we speak, and he played on Sunday and played well.
This is what we know about New England.
Yeah.
And they do a lot of it is winning. And the most important thing is not people, it's winning. And if you can help them win, they will be willing to overlook that. And I'm not saying they're the only franchise, but this notion that they have this moral high ground in New England is being disingenuous. Well, Coach Belichick, if you act, no. Because he's been more than willing. And I don't have a problem with giving second chances, but let's not pretend that they're the gold standard of behavior when it comes to New England, because we've seen guys do things there and still be gainfully employed there.
But what I'm saying is all that more reason for them to cut ties with Antonio today, as opposed to saying, well, they have a history of this, they're just going to say business as usual, we're going forward with him.
Yeah,
but maybe it's time for them to say, okay, enough is enough.
They see the talent. They see
talent.
talent.
Well, there's no doubt about the talent.
Talent and production.
Okay.
He's talented and he's still producing.
Okay, is it possible the commissioner would ask them to take a stand? See, the problem with this for the commissioner is, let's do the hypothetical. New England says today, we've had enough of Antonio, we're out. He's a free agent. Well, if another team then jumps, the Eagles, let's say, they jump in and say, we want Antonio, well, the commissioner still has the problem of the lawsuit.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Right? So it doesn't solve anything.
No.
It'd be really hard for me to believe that they would ask the Patriots to take that stand, given the fact that we don't have the full story.
Yep.
And what Brittany Taylor is accusing Brown of is horrible. And the reaction this morning when we all come in at 4 a.m. is, this is not what you want to be talking about.
Nope.
But if they do make a stand and they ask the Patriots to do so without having any sense of his side of the story, these are still just accusations. Right. Regardless of how bad they look, it's very risky for them to say enough is enough. In this case, I think the exemplus is really the only feasible option until there is a full investigation, because we don't know the full story.
We don't know.
It's just, then it's hard to know how long on the exempt list, the rest of the year?
Right.
It could take the rest of the year for the NFL to research this.
Well, you remember that, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they put Reuben Foster on it, and he was able to get off it once they did their investigation. Okay. So we'll see. Let's see how soon this thing takes its course of action.
There will be more to this story, and we will keep you updated with the latest. And unfortunately, we just don't have all the details at this point, but we are going to move on from Antonio Brown right now. The latest NFL Power Rankings did come out. The Patriots are right where we expected, but you might be surprised that the Cowboys have jumped up a little bit, and we are going to go there next. Don't forget, you can check us out every day on the Fox Sports channel on SiriusXM. We'll be right back.
No mercy.
Are you ready for what's ahead? You can't always predict the future, but you can game plan for it. Generations of families and businesses have harnessed the power of Pacific to help them reach their unique goals. Whether you need to save enough money to meet your needs, ensure your family is protected, or make sure you don't run out of money, Pacific Life has a variety of financial solutions that can help. Pacific Life counts more than half of the 100 largest U.S. companies as its clients and has been named one of the 2019 World's Most Ethical Companies by the Ethisphere Institute, protecting what matters most to people for 150 years and counting. That's the power of Pacific. Ask a financial professional about how Pacific Life can help you game plan for your future, or visit www.pacificlife.com.
No mercy.
Well, the Cowboys are climbing up the USA Today Power Rankings. Dallas has moved up from 14th to 7th after easily taking down the Giants 35-17 on Sunday. Moving in the opposite direction are the Eagles, who were ranked 4th last week, but after struggling early against the Redskins Week 1, Philly has dropped down to 10th overall. The Cowboys Super Bowl odds also improved from 22-1 to 16-1 after the Week 1 win, according to Fox Bet. Not a bad sign, Skip, but Shannon, Do you have a problem with this?
Yeah, because it's a huge overreaction. Skip Bayless, and you know
Really?
it.
I don't
How
know, but go
hold
ahead.
on. How you beat a bad team at home and you jump 7 spots? Since you cool with that?
I'm hot with that.
Yeah. I bet you are hot with that. Come on, Skip. Let's be all the way 100. The Giants are a bad football team. You know that. I know that. I'm trying to figure out they were bad defensively last year, and they lose 2 of their best defensive players, Olivier Vernon and Landon Collins, and somehow you expected them to get better. There's a reason why Dak had all day to throw the football. He put him in the Hall of Fame right now. If he plays the Giants 16 more times this year, guess what? He's going to the Hall of Fame. Because he'll put up those exact same numbers, maybe even more. Maybe more because Zeke will be healthy because they'll run him and they'll really have to step down. Zeke had a quiet day and he threw for 4 or 5. No, it's an overreaction. I was way more impressed with what the Titans did or what the Rams. What about the Packers? Go on the road on a Thursday night and beat Chicago, who won the division.
Fair.
Isn't that more impressive than what your team did? Absolutely.
Against Mitchell Trubisky?
Against Eli Manning?
Yeah.
When last time Eli been good? Commodores was still a hit.
Ooh.
Yeah, long time. Yeah, Lionel Richie was with the Commodore. He been gone. He been on his own a long time.
Commodores are hits every year. Their baseball team, their football team.
Nobody
last
talking about
year.
those.
You mean Lionel Richie?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We talking about those. We talking about the group that was formed at Tuskegee.
Yeah.
Those Commodores.
We won the national championship in baseball. Go ahead.
You gave it. We made it too easy for him there.
I believe there are more deserving teams, especially teams that have more impressive resumes after week 1. The Titans going to Cleveland and dismantling them. Green Bay going to Lambeau. The Rams going to Carolina. Come on, Skip. And the Eagles down 17-0, 27 at the half to show the resolve to come back and beat them 32-3. They scored a meaningless touchdown. Mess up my prediction.
Yep, they messed it up. I told you can't do it. It's too many points.
Skip, they scored
Division battle.
Why do you even care about scoring with 6 seconds? You down by 100 points. But anyway,
they got my back.
Yeah, exactly.
And they better not have it this time.
Yeah, Adrian Peterson need to rush about 200 on you guys. But no, I think that's way too high for a team that was 14th, beat a bad Giants football team, and leap 7 spots. Yeah, I got a problem with it.
And I don't.
I bet you don't.
Finally, the world is starting to see what I have seen the whole offseason. I spent the whole NFL offseason having to sit across from you in this chair while you ridiculed my Cowboys and their hopes, their long shot chances of being even decent in 2019. And I told you 3 months ago, I'm looking at a Super Bowl loaded roster that has a chance to break through right on schedule this year and get to the Super Bowl in Miami. We'll be there. Cowboys will be there. How many times did I tell you that?
Cowboy fan will be there, which will be you.
Yeah. I've told you the entire offseason that Dak Prescott had become, and I'm doing it past tense now because he's starting to get some respect, but I told you he had become the most underrated, underappreciated quarterback in the National Football League, and at times I was starting to think historically in the National Football League. He got no respect from you after getting Amari last year and going 10 games with top 5 statistics, including the most completions in the entire NFL and the most, according to Pro Football Focus, catchable balls thrown in the NFL over the last 10 games.
Yeah, he turned into check down Charlie. Just dump it down to Zeke.
He was 3rd over those 10 games in called air distance and how far the pass traveled to the receiver. So he was no longer dinking and dacking, and he sure wasn't dinking and dacking on Sunday because it was bombs away. And I told you the whole offseason, Kellen Moore is going to change life in Dallas because he's going to revitalize, unleash, open up an offense just waiting to burst onto the scene. And we saw it on Sunday.
Skip, can we get a look? We're not in Costco or Whole Foods where they give you a sample and then you go buy the product. Can we get a larger sample size before you start heaping this kind of praise? That's all I'm asking. Is that asking too much to get a larger sample size?
So we had a large sample size on Case Keenum before Sunday, and you dismissed him by giving him little to no respect. You were close to garbage level for Case Keenum. Am I right about that?
He's a good backup.
He's a good backup, but he started at Philadelphia against your Super Bowl team, right?
Yes.
Did you pick them to win the Super Bowl?
Don't worry about what I picked. I said they go.
I think you said win, but I
No,
can't
I
remember.
think I got Kansas City. I
You
don't know. I
can't
think I
remember?
got Kansas City to win.
Yeah, see, I have no doubt about who I picked to win the Super Bowl. It's Tom Brady. So I don't
Well,
waver. You
just-
can't
that
remember.
clear.
You just like 7 years in a row.
Okay, all right, whatever. Case Keenum goes to Philadelphia on Sunday, and he goes 30 of 44 for 380 yards
Okay.
with a QBR of 74, which was very high on Sunday.
Was
And
it
that
high to walk into him?
No, it was not. But that was the fourth most yards any quarterback threw for, and launched them into a 17-0 lead. And I don't care about Walkatuum. I care about Walkatuum's defensive unit,
Yeah.
which looked flammable to me.
Yeah.
It looked torchable to me.
Yeah.
It did not look like a top 5 defense to me. And
Underestimated.
again, they have been in the top 5 the whole offseason. Every power ranking had Philly top 5 somewhere, 3, 4, 5, and had Dallas 15th to 20th through the offseason. So is it overreaction against the Giants? What did I tell you about the Giants? The reason I wouldn't take the bet with you on Friday, we're doing the
7.5.
points, and the spread was 7.5.
Yeah.
The reason I wouldn't do the 7.5 was because if you look at what the Giants did last year with virtually, I know you talked about the losses they had, but virtually the same roster, and Saquon, whom you call the best running back in football,
Hey, did he
right?
prove it? Did he
Okay,
prove
all
it
right,
Sunday?
okay. Well, so are they garbage or not garbage?
No,
okay?
the
But wait a
defense.
second. Last year, the Giants went 7-1 on the road against the spread because they constantly got underrated by Vegas because they have the core, sort of the guts of a good football team that will fight you. And when you got division battles going on opening Sunday, all bets are off. They scare me to death.
Well, what normally happens when a team covers that much on the road, they normally fall behind by a large margin, and the opposing team is like all of a sudden they get very cautious and like, we don't do anything. And the next thing you know, they score a touchdown like Washington with 6 seconds to go, and they backdoor cover you.
Okay? It happens. That's why 10 too many in a division rival, and you lost again. Okay? But we didn't have anything to bet on.
We didn't have anything bet.
Okay? You're lucky on that one. But the point is, the Giants still have players. They still have a guy you think is one of the top corners in football named Janoris Jenkins. I've heard again and again, Jack Rabbit. He puts the cuffs on you, right?
Yeah.
So what did Dak Prescott do on the first play of the game on Sunday? The very first play, opening play. Giants win and defer. So they just said, we don't have any respect for Dak Prescott. He's not going to hurt
Yeah,
us.
I don't blame him.
Okay. So first play, 1st and 10, whatever it was, 25.
Yep.
Dak drops back, and he says, I'm going at you, Jack Rabbit, because I have a real receiver. I don't have Des Bryant anymore. You can lock up Des Bryant, who runs like 3 routes in his tree. But I got Amari Cooper, and you're single on Amari over there. Watch what we do. And he throws not a deep out, but a sort of a medium deep out for 13 yards to Amari. And it was just an opening statement. Watch this. So if you eye test what you saw, Cowboys versus Giants, you saw Dak Prescott at his new best. You saw him continue to carry the momentum of last year right into game number 1. I don't care if they were playing Oklahoma's defense on Sunday. And I'm taking a shot at my own team because I still don't trust that defense.
You shouldn't.
It's one of the worst Big 12 defenses, even though it might be a little better than it was last year when it was the worst good team defense in the history of college football. But I don't care if last year's OU defense was playing Dak Prescott. You could just see what you saw. You saw him throw with conviction and authority and look like a top 10 quarterback. You saw accuracy. You saw arm strength. You saw readability where he was just quick scanning and firing to weapon upon new weapon, Randall Cobb. You saw the offensive line healthy, and I will give you that he had time, and they ran the football a little bit. I think they're going to run it a whole lot more at Washington, and they will be balanced. But right now, they are starting to look like a little more of a deep threat passing team because I told you all offseason, Michael Gallup will emerge. We heard our man Chris Carter say it at the end of First Things First. He is legit, big-time, deep threat receiver. Dak loves him, trusts him. So when you've got Gallup and Amari and Randall Cobb out of the slot, you got firepower, right? You've got a team that warrants being the 6th place team in the USA Today
They
power
got
rankings. 7th place, yeah. Were they 6th in the? No, I think Philly was 6th in the ESPN one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They had been
Okay.
14 in this one.
Yes, there we go. So the point is, they looked like that good of a football team. And again, I think the Dallas defense, even though I have my questions and I voiced them on Monday, their defense is a little better than Philly's defense. So Dallas is a little better team than Philly. So give me 7 for Dallas and 10 for Philly is about right.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
How you jump? Skip, you beat a bad team. The Giants are a bad team, and you know it. If they're so good, why did they pick 6 in the draft?
Saquon, Janoris. Interesting.
Oh, stop it. Stop it. Oh, y'all got Dak, y'all got Zeke, y'all got Amari, or the second best offensive line in football. And what do the Giants have? Yeah, exactly.
I just told you. I just told you. They got enough.
Saquon.
Yeah.
Saquon.
You know what they got? They got Eli Manning, who on any given Sunday can rise up and
Well, it wasn't
shred
that
you.
Sunday. It wasn't last Sunday. Well, maybe he can rise up this Sunday.
Well, he rose up and took it right down the field for 7-0, right?
Well, the game didn't end, Skip. It wasn't sudden death, so it wasn't like they scored 7-0 and the ball game was over. You still got to play another 3.5 quarters. So what happened the rest of the game?
Sometimes you just got to sit back and eye test it. And I think your eyes and your instincts are telling you,
No.
this is
See,
legit.
the thing, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to pin me down. You're trying to pin me down because I said that. I never said Dak was a bust. I said eventually he might be good, Skip Bayless. And he might.
Eventually?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I
don't remember you saying that.
Yes, I did.
actually.
Yes, I did.
Oh.
I said he might be good. But you wanted to, he's right now. He's all right. His rookie year, his second year, his third year. No.
Division title last year.
That's all you got
On
to
his
hang your hat
way.
on.
Yeah, well, that's a
Now,
lot.
he went to the Super Bowl. Now, we might have a different discussion
Well,
about that.
no, it's not might. Will.
We might have a
We're a
different
long way
discussion.
away from that,
Long
guys.
way, Jenny.
We are not there
Long
yet.
way.
Well,
September.
somebody other than me is seeing the light.
I don't see nothing. I see this power ranking, and I'm just trying to figure out how you go from 14 to 7 when you beat a bad football team.
Vegas 22-1, all of a sudden 16-1 off one game against
Because you
a
know
bad
why?
football
Because
team.
it's overreaction, Jenny. Everybody come putting $5,
This guy?
$10 down on the Cowboys, and they drive it down. But Vegas love to take them old Cowboy fans because y'all do this every year.
Yeah.
And every year y'all come in they win one game, and here come a pile of money on the Cowboys. Like, what we gonna buy? We can add on to this building right here. That's what y'all do, and you're doing it again, Skip Bayless.
Well, you might have a chance next Monday to get me back because I think Dallas versus Washington is going to be
No.
a
I
battle.
want nothing. Don't
Yeah.
even mention that, Skip. I'm not betting you. I don't care. I'm not betting you. So don't try to, I give you this many points. No. The answer is no.
Well, I'm not giving you any points.
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
No.
Yeah, you got to give me points.
This is going to the wire.
Convinced?
Yeah.
What wire?
I respect and fear Case Keenum, and I've told you that the whole
You
offseason.
said that.
Yeah, first of all, if I bet you, I'm gonna have to go to the wire, the bank wire, and put money in your account.
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
that's
I
the
like
only
that.
wire. That's the
You're
only
fine
wire
with
I'm going to.
But then
I'm not betting
you'd
you.
have to have my checking account number, and I'm not going to give you
You get your boy that, Skip.
that. Yeah,
Really
right.
not. Now, before we move on, guys, the Vikings did move from 5th to 3rd. So just for the record, the reason suffocating defense and a relentless run game. So
Really?
Vikings right now are on the top
You know
of the
why?
list. I just wanted to
They
say
took
it.
the ball out
Just
of
wanted
Kirk
to say
Cousins'
it.
hands.
That's
They
fine
said,
with me.
no more Kirk Cousins.
That's fine.
No mercy.
We're going to move on to Kevin Durant, who opened up in an interview with the Wall Street Journal about his departures from the Thunder and the Warriors. Durant said he was shocked by the backlash he received after leaving the Thunder to join the Warriors. Ultimately, Durant said he wanted to join the Warriors in order to be part of a family, but he admitted that while he was accepted by the team, he never really fit in. KD said, quote, this: as time went on, I started to realize I'm just different from the rest of the guys. It's not a bad thing, just my circumstances and how I came up in the league. And on top of that, the media always looked at it like KD and the Warriors, so it's like nobody could get a full acceptance of me there. Durant recently took to Twitter to defend himself, as he has done before, replying to upset Thunder fans after the article was released, and we know he does that a lot, guys. Shannon, when you
Yes.
hear this from KD, what do you make of all of it?
KD owes me an apology.
Uh-oh.
KD, you need to at me. Because Skip, remember I said KD is finding out he was never going to be accepted like Steph, Clay, and Draymond.
True.
And he went on Twitter and said that was an ignorant statement. And now the very thing that I said, he's talking about it in an article. So I want my apology, KD.
Yeah, you won't get it.
I will get it. Well, I take a pound of flesh. But anyway, I was just joking. No, Skip, look, I don't know what KD thought. I really don't. I think if KD had left and gone any place else, Skip, would they have been upset? Because, I mean, KD, you were there. I mean, big time, great player. I believe he's the greatest player in their history. Now, Russ fans will contest that, but I believe KD is the greatest player in the Seattle OKC history. Skip, he went and joined a team that beat him after he had that team down 3-1. And he joined a team that had just won 73 games with a unanimous MVP.
Yep.
Yeah, people gonna look at you like, what? And he's like, I was never accepted. You were, and KD, Skip, Jenny didn't read this, but he was talking about, although I was never gonna be accepted because Clay and Steph and Draymond was drafted there, Iggy was there for the first title, and everybody else came there to rehabilitate something. What was I gonna rehabilitate? I was scoring titles, I was an MVP. Exactly, KD. That's why everybody got so upset at you. You were a scoring champion 4 times. You was an MVP. And you go join the best team in basketball. Yep. And you don't understand why? Come on, KD. I laid it out very elaborately for him, Skip. I say, Steph, Clay, and Draymond, a new addition, and Johnny Gill joined. Johnny Gill could out-sing them all. Ralph, Bobby Brown, all of them, Jenny. He could out-sing them all.
That is true.
But then he was never going to be accepted because he didn't go up in Boston like they did.
That is also true.
KD, I don't care how many points. You were way better than Steph, Clay, and Draymond. But you didn't get drafted there.
Yep.
You could outplay them. So they were, the fans, we're going to win title, yada, yada, yada. But I'm sorry, they were never going to embrace you like they embraced those guys because that was theirs. Skip, I don't know what he went there seeking validation. He thought, Skip, that if I get a title, yes, I was an MVP before, yes, I won scoring titles, but he never got the validation, the credit that he thought he deserved. Well, if I win a title, what's to argue now? Not only do I have this MVP, I have a Finals MVP, and I have scoring titles, but still. He still couldn't get what he was seeking, and that was ultimate validation as being regarded as the universally best player because that title still went to LeBron, and that irked him. Yep. I'm coming to find out everything irks KD.
Everything.
I mean, so I don't really, Skip, hopefully he's in a place now he can find peace. But the reason why he can't find peace is because KD is not at peace with himself. I don't know what he has going on, but there's no reason for a man to be this unhappy. He's playing a sport that he dreamed of. He's making more money than he ever dreamed he'd make. Yep. He went to Golden State. You made choices. Every choice that's happened, especially when you chose to go to the University of Texas, you didn't have a choice where you got drafted. But you chose to go to Golden State. Now you're choosing to go to Brooklyn. Skip, why is he so unhappy? Everything that he claims to be a problem is the very reason why you're KD. People don't heap praise. 7-foot guys that do not play a professional sport, most of them don't make $75, $80 million a year.
That's true.
KD, look at it as a blessing, bro. Why are you so upset? What is going on in this man's life, Skip, that he can't seem to be at peace or find happiness? But hopefully once he comes off this injury, he comes back to the player that he once was, and he can find that happiness with the game of basketball and, more important, and with himself. Because there's something going on that's far greater than basketball, and basketball can't solve it.
So, to echo everything you just said, what do I often call Kevin Durant on this show? Kevin Durant, because he do rant, man.
Yes.
It's like every chance he gets, he do rant. And it's often irrational and inexplicable ranting that we scratch our heads and say, come on, Kevin, what are you thinking? And I'm going to tell this story one more time because I started with him way before you did, because I did all the way back to April of 2012. I'm on ESPN, and I'm defending my man, Kevin Durant, against Russell Westbrook day after day after day. Because I love Kevin at the University of Texas, and I predicted back on the old show I did, Cold Pizza, he will win multiple NBA scoring titles. And some people on that show laughed at that. That skinny rail, that guy? Yep, that guy. He's 7 feet tall, and he can shoot it like crazy. And Bill Self came on that show, then obviously the Kansas coach, and defended me. And he said, you guys, you have no idea, but this guy, we cannot stop him. You cannot guard this guy. You can't guard him with 2 or 3 people. When he rises up, you just...
You at his mercy.
So now we're looking at the greatest, I call him the greatest offensively skilled player we've ever seen, ever, just because he can do that. And he is the most defensive player we've ever seen off the court on social media and with reporters, right?
Yes.
The thinnest skinned superstar ever is Kevin Durant. So back to April of 2012, I'm defending him because Russell Westbrook is taking more shots a game than my guy, Kevin Durant. And Kevin texted the Oklahoma City, just called the Oklahoman reporter, called him over before the game, and he said to him, quote unquote, that I don't know a thing about basketball. Well, the next day on the show, I just go crazy because I'm saying, Kevin, I'm the one defending you against Russell.
I'm in your corner, bro. I'm backing you.
And the rest of his quotes were, we're better when Russ takes more shots. Really? And he said, I'm better when I'm out there facilitating, rebounding, defending, and being more efficient on my shot with less shots. What?
No.
Why did he end up leaving? Because Russ was the primary decision maker.
Right.
And Russ could choose, it's my turn. I'm going to take this shot.
Yeah, when have we ever thought of Kevin Durant as a facilitator?
Come on.
Never in the history
Stop
since he's
it.
been in the NBA.
Okay, so then to the Wall Street Journal the other day, he just goes off on the Thunder organization. I went back to the first game, and they had nothing to do with me. There's no love. You left them.
Yeah.
What do you expect?
Oh, you think?
Come on.
So they supposed to welcome him with open arms.
Yeah.
You walk out on me.
Yeah.
Just again, Jenny,
And
relationship.
remember-
You walk out on me.
And remember, left him high and dry because they waited through the trade deadline
Yes.
because they thought he was going to re-sign
Right.
with them. So you get nothing for Kevin Durant. And it hurts you.
Yes.
It sets you way
It
back.
sets you way back, yes.
Whew.
Skip, now I can get him being upset with the people of Oklahoma. Skip, you remember when that tornado hit touchdown? Kevin Durant gave $1 million out of his own pocket. He went into the community. He was amongst the people.
You're right.
So, you know, he didn't just like, Skip,
No, I
I'm
got
donating $1 million.
Did a lot for
Not only did he donate, he went out into the, and he's like, y'all gonna do this to me? Because see, Skip, as athletes, speaking from an
Okay,
athlete,
I got it.
we don't think anything will ever happen to us. He saw what happened to LeBron James when he left Cleveland to
did.
go to Miami. But
Yep.
guess what he said, Skip? That'll never happen to me. And guess what happened when he left OKC to go to Golden State? It happened to him.
What does fans stand for? It's fanatic.
Fanatical.
Fanatical.
Yes.
Okay? They are fanatical about their Thunder. The Thunder became bigger in Oklahoma City than the University of Oklahoma football team did, and I never thought in my lifetime, having grown up there, that I would ever see that happen. So that's how much he did mean to them until he walked out the door.
Right. But you can't, Skip, you can't say because of the reaction that you got when you left and came back
Yep.
that everybody in the organization was fake. I don't believe it. It just, for him, he doesn't see it's got to be all this or all that. See, you either love me all the time or you never loved me to begin with. And it's not like that, Kevin.
So what did I say soon after he signed with the Brooklyn Nets in a little bit of a shock? It won't be long before Kevin Durant is unhappy with the Brooklyn Nets because that's just his history.
Yes.
He just gets unhappy. So here's my armchair psychiatrist view. You were asking, what are you doing? What are you thinking? Well, does he just want attention or does he want motivation? Because I think deep down, when he rants, then he knows he's going to get backlash.
Right.
He knows he's going to respond to nobodies on Twitter over the backlash, which he did all day yesterday.
Yes.
And it somehow weirdly motivates him because when I thought he had the weight of the NBA world on his shoulders in the first finals against LeBron when he went to Golden State, man, he rose and shone.
Yeah.
He was the MVP. And then he comes right back and repeats that performance.
But even that
with
didn't
another
give,
MVP.
Even that, Skip, didn't
No, it
give
didn't
the
get him
valida-
there. No.
It didn't give him the validation that he thought it would because
Okay.
remember, he said, like, he still was feeling empty even after he won the first title. And he's like, this is it? This is all I get? Like, what words? Skip, I don't, and you hear guys say that an awful lot. Like, when I win the title, I'm like, this is it, empty. What do you think it does? I mean, you think the heavens open up and then the bright ray of sunshine and he smiles down on you and says, great job, Kevin. A great job, guy.
Okay.
No, that's not how it happens.
I got it. But I think he needs to be, quote unquote, at war with everybody. That drives him. That motivates him. Remember, he won the MVP in the next All-Star game.
Yes.
In the media availability on Friday, he told the whole group of reporters, you don't know a damn thing about basketball. They just voted him the MVP. What?
Clearly, because LeBron should have won it that year. He's absolutely right, Skip Bayless.
Right.
Yeah, because they voted him MVP over LeBron. Kevin Durant was one of the first time he'd been absolutely right.
It's hard.
But I need an apology, Skip.
You do?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people need apologies.
I don't know about them. I'm talking about me.
Okay.
Because, that's an ignorant statement, brother. I mean, he on Twitter.
I know. I think when he says the media always looked at it like KD and the Warriors, he could have also viewed that as a compliment. We always say LeBron and the Lakers.
Yeah.
Like, when you are that talented,
Michael Jackson to the Jackson
you are
5.
kind of put in a separate group, and instead he took it the negative, and I think it's finding the negative for KD. You got to see the glass half full, not always empty with KD, and he needs to apologize to you, Shannon.
It's like the reason why the glass half full, Kevin, is you drank out of it. Somebody else did drink out of the glass and sit it back down and say it's half full. You drank half the water, KD.
Well, I'm waiting for him to respond to us now. We'll have to see what he says. We're going to talk about week one a bit more. Did it reveal some concerns about Cam Newton? What is going on with the latest with the quarterback? We'll go there next.
No mercy.
Hey, Undisputed listeners, it's Jenny Taft here to talk to you about forhims.com, a one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, sexual wellness for men. 66% of men start to lose their hair by age 35. Once you've noticed thinning hair, it can be too late. So the best way to prevent more hair loss is to do something about it while you still have some. Hims is helping guys be the best version of themselves with licensed physicians and FDA-approved products to help treat hair loss. These aren't snake oil pills or gas station counter supplements. They're prescription solutions backed by science. 4Hims connects you to real doctors online. It's completely confidential and discreet. Just answer a few quick questions, and if a doctor determines 4Hims is right for you, they can prescribe you medication to treat hair loss that is shipped directly to your door. Order now. My listeners can get started with the Hims Complete Hair Kit for just $5 today, right now while supplies last, and subject to doctor's approval. See website for full details and safety information. This could cost hundreds if you went to the doctor or a pharmacy somewhere else. Go to forhims.com/undisputed. That's forhims.com/undisputed. forhims.com/undisputed.
No mercy.
For the first time in his career, Cam Newton didn't complete a pass longer than 17 yards, and his longest pass attempt was a 26-yard incompletion. Some are now questioning whether this is a result of Cam's recent shoulder surgery, and yesterday Cam got a little defensive when reporters brought it up again. Take a listen.
You're only asking me because of my shoulder. How about this? You talk to the defensive coordinator for Tampa and don't think I can throw the ball over 20 yards and see how far that gets you. How about that?
You feel like that deep ball is within you, though, right now?
Of course. But if it's going to hinder us from winning, I don't want to throw it. But if it's going to make us win, oh, baby, you better call some doggone deep balls.
All right, Shannon, how concerned should the Panthers be with Cam right now?
I don't think they should be concerned. When Tom Brady doesn't throw the ball over 20 yards, nobody says a thing. When Dink and Dak was dunking the ball down, ain't nobody say anything.
That was 2 years ago.
I'm just stop it, Skip. But I didn't ask you anything. Why are you always chiming in? I don't know. It's like a cue. And I say anything about Dak, and you got to
Point of order.
there ain't no point
Quick
of
little
nothing.
reaction.
Yes. Look, Skip, you've been around Norv Turner. You're in Dallas when they were running, and Norv Turner is not a whole lot of deep balls. It's the bang eights, what we call the skinny post, and the deep five, which is the comeback route. So it's not like not like he's Patrick Mahomes, and that offense is just throwing the ball all the air yards. That's not what this offense is about. Christian McCaffrey was having a fabulous day running the football. He had a great day. They dump it to him, and he was making guys miss and getting yards in the pass game. Hence, the 209 total yards from scrimmage.
Yep.
But I'm not concerned about Cam's arm. We said the same thing about Andrew Luck. Everybody was overreacting, and Andrew Luck had the second most touchdowns in the NFL last year behind Pat Mahomes' 50. So I'm not concerned about him. I just think the thing is the defense will dictate whether or not he throws the ball over your head or not. But I'm not going to force it just to try to prove to some guys that my arm is fine. Let me just air it out 60 yards. For what?
Yep.
Give me the 15 yards or 10-yard completions as opposed to the 40 yards incomplete because, well, his arm's okay. What good is that? He threw the ball 50 yards and it's incomplete. When he could have dumped it down or could have thrown a 10-yard route and got a completion out of it. So I'm not concerned about it. We'll keep moving forward. Now, here we are week 8, and it's the same thing. Then I'll be concerned. But in the first week, no, I'm not concerned.
Okay, I'll give you not concerned about his arm, but I am concerned about his head, about his
What,
body
need a haircut?
language.
Or you want him to comb his hair or what?
You know what? That's a decent point because that's a wild look, man. And
He goes through stages.
he does. You know, I used to love him. Loved him before the draft. Loved him in the MVP season. Loved the whole charisma that he just exudes charisma. When he's right, the world's right.
Right.
Best smile in sports when it's right. And he got all the way to the precipice to the Super Bowl, and then the world fell on him. Von Miller kept falling, right?
Yeah.
And then I had no problem with his post-game reaction because he lost, and he was taking it hard and taking it to heart, but he did not present the best look for the franchise, as you recall, in the post-game.
Right.
And he took a lot of criticism for that.
Correct.
And ever since then, he's just sort of slowly faded. And his winning percentage since 2015 is 24th in the league among starting quarterbacks. Well, that obviously won't hack it.
Right.
And they lost a close game to the Rams. It was a very competitive game, but they lost. And he was dinking and dunking a lot in the game, and it was working because he targeted your little man Christian McCaffrey 11 times, and he caught 10 for 81 yards, and he's run. So their offense is being driven by that little man.
Right.
But the face of the franchise, the leader of that football team still has to be this man.
Yeah.
And again, he gets it, it's like he shouldn't do the media sessions anymore because it just gets worse and worse because he takes it harder and harder. How dare you question me about this, about my arm strength? Well, then go ask the Tampa defense.
Right.
See if he's afraid of my arm. Yeah. And I get it because he's been almost to the mountaintop. He got right up there, got to that last level, that base camp right below the peak, right? And then there was an avalanche, and it was an orange avalanche, and it went the wrong way. And now his body language gets worse and worse, and that look, he just looked frazzled yesterday. And he's been through a lot because here's the point. When you run as much as that, he's a huge man, but when you run that much and take that many hits at that position, it wears you out, man. It wears you down. And it looks like he's just taken such a beating that he's starting to look like a broken down fighter, where you.
Well,
just
he
take
lost
big
some weight
shots.
because he felt he was playing too heavy.
Yep.
I think he's down around 245 now, and he was high as, I guess the estimate's probably 255, 260, but he's lost weight. I think he's totally vegan now.
Is
Went
he still?
Yeah, he went pescatarian for a while, but I think he's totally vegan now. So, but he looks good. Skip, I think the thing is that, and I don't know if Cam understood this at the time, but that once you go to the Super Bowl as a quarterback, or you win an MVP, your life is never the same. That's the level they expect you to play at.
Yeah.
Moving forward, they don't really expect you to ever have bad games again.
And he won the MVP.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And so once you win the MVP
Okay.
or get your Super, he did both in the same year. He won the MVP and got his team to the Super Bowl. So that's the level of expectation that fans and the media and the writers, they expect because they see Tom Brady. Tom Brady plays like Tom Brady all the time. And Drew Brees and all these other guys, it's like.
Do you remember what they did to Seattle in that playoff game?
Yeah.
They
bum rushed him. They bum rushed him, put it with an avalanche.
Whew. Okay.
Yeah. So with that, Skip, I just think the thing is that, look, they expect him there, and there'll be a time. I think what hurt him is that they lost Ted Ginn. Ted Ginn went back to New Orleans. That was really the deep threat. Now, they did draft a guy. I think they got a draft, not this past season, but year before last.
DJ Moore?
Yeah, in the first round that can get deep.
Yeah.
And we'll see.
Well, he caught 7 for 76. Okay, so that worked.
Yeah.
Greg Olson's still there.
But he's been nicked a lot lately.
He's been nicked.
And Cam normally plays his best when Greg Olson's on the field and plays his best because he's that security blanket. He can make tough catches. He can, bail Cam out a lot. But, C-Mac was running it. C-Mac was running. He had a great day running the football, had a great day catching the football, and that's, it looks to me that's where we're headed with the running back, Skip. The days of just being a running back are over. You must do multiple things. You must run and catch. You see Alvin Kamara, you see the Christian McCaffrey, Saquon.
Yep.
Yeah, you see all those guys that are multifaceted now. Even Zeke has added that to his repertoire.
He has. And Tony Pollard,
Yeah.
of course.
There you go. Oh, the Alvin Kamara clone.
Same guy.
But
That guy.
Skip, I just would believe that when given the opportunity and the opportunity presents itself for Cam to put the ball over someone's head, I'll be looking for that. I'll be watching. We'll see. Because Tampa, because we know it's going to be, Jameson going to throw about 3 or 4 picks. So Cam will get an opportunity. He'll get more opportunity to throw the ball down the field.
So I never thought it would come to this, but Cam's stats are a little misleading. That's why I love QBR, because it really breaks down the stats into total impact of your. He was 25 of 39 for 239.
Right.
He didn't have any touchdowns, had 1 interception. The QBR was 17 on a scale of 0 to 100. The only worst QBR in the league on Sunday was Jameis. So you got Cam and Jameis,
Tomorrow night.
2 guys I used to love that are getting harder and harder to love.
Yeah.
And now they're head-to-head.
Jameson is a turnover. Is just a turnover. Skip, he hadn't broken that habit from when he came out of college.
You know what?
What's going on?
His history was his history.
Yep.
His college history has become his pro history.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, you mean to tell me somebody played worse than Trubisky? Well, I saw Jameis. Jameis stunk it up.
It wasn't good.
Yeah, man, yeah.
It wasn't good.
I'm glad he had on the pins because he pooped. He right down the field, Jenny. Yeah, he did. He messed himself right down the
Had
field.
the pins on?
Yeah, he had
He
to
did.
because we just saw it.
You did not.
Yeah, he did, Jenny. He had to.
Really?
Yeah, he was awful.
I would have liked to heard what Bruce Arians said behind closed doors about his quarterback, because he's
Hopefully
hard enough
nicer
on
than
his.
You
that.
should have heard what I said in front of the TV.
Really?
What the
Okay.
bleep, Jameis?
Well, now he gets Cam, or Cam gets Jameis.
Does Jameis know there are not 22 players on offense? You just can't willy-nilly throw the ball to somebody like, oh, that's a completion. No. Sometimes, I believe, you didn't see Sherm over there? Pick sixes left and right.
It's not a good sign.
Cam, who you got? Well, we going to bet this one. We bet this one. I
Are
got
we?
Cam.
Okay. Yeah.
I got Cam.
Yeah. Do you?
Yeah, I got Cam.
Got a
You taking
response.
Tampa?
Skip,
Where's
you
the
wanna
game?
think
Tampa,
about
right?
it?
Is it in Tampa?
Yeah.
Not sure.
I'm not
Look at me, you know.
We'll do this
I'm not
tomorrow.
sure.
Okay, I'll
Okay,
go.
fine, we
I'll
got some
sleep
time.
on it.
We got some time. We'll sleep on it. Think
Yep.
about this one. Don't bring up Depends ever again.
Don't
Shannon.
come out
That's
bad.
not a good sign. Bill Belichick made an interesting comparison when the Patriots did sign Antonio Brown. We are going to find out the latest with that comparison next.
No mercy.
At the beginning of the show, we discussed the allegations brought against Antonio Brown that he has now since denied. And yesterday, important to point out, this was before these allegations broke. Bill Belichick answered questions about the receiver joining the Patriots. And when asked about his confidence level that AB wouldn't be disruptive like he was in Pittsburgh and Oakland, Belichick said, quote, "It's the same thing you said about Randy Moss when we brought him in." So, Shannon, when you look at comparing AB to Randy Moss, is that a valid comparison?
The only comparison I see, Skip, both came from the Raiders. Both play receivers. And why wouldn't he? But for every Randy Moss, what about Albert Hainsworth? How did that work out? What about Ocho Cinco? You see what he does, he always just takes the positive. Well, Randy worked out. But there have been situations where it didn't work out, but he never mentions those. Skip, I don't know how different or like Randy and AB are behind the scenes because a lot of this transpired where we didn't have social media. So we don't know what Randy was like at practice or what he said, some of the things.
Yep.
I mean, we saw some of the antics on the field, squirting the official with the water bottle,
Yep.
mooning the fans at Lambeau.
Yep.
So we see some of the things, but I don't know about him getting into it with coaches, threatening to fight the GM. So we really don't know, Skip, how specific behind the scenes these two guys actually are. But this is what I do know, is that John Gruden said it best in his press conference after the game Monday night. He said, we gave it a shot. We did everything we could. Now it's the Patriots' turn. We wish them good luck. That's all I needed to hear. And I believe John Gruden, Skip, you said John Gruden is going out of his way for Antonio Brown. Mike Mayock was getting kind of fed up with it.
He
because
was.
at what point in time are we going to make this about football?
Yep.
Or are we going to play football? We're just going to let this guy grandstand and create the same situation that he had in Pittsburgh, and we'll allow him to bring that here to Oakland. We're a team. We're trying to build. We got some young guys that are very impressionable, and we don't want this kind of impression that it's okay to skip walkthroughs, miss practice, loaf, and do all this other stuff on the outside, on the peripheral. So I think Mike Mayock got to understand, like, nah, I'm gonna try to nip this in the bud. But Gruden is in the business to win games. He knows they're going to Oakland. Just getting to Oakland. They're going to Vegas in a year, maybe 2 at max. And so he's willing to tolerate. But even they got to a point where even he said enough is enough.
He did.
I wish Coach Belichick good luck. Maybe Antonio Brown will go in there and he will conform to the way they do things there. And if he does, I believe he can be productive. But I'm not gonna compare him to Randy's situation, because other than them coming from Oakland and them coming from receiving, at least Randy made it 2 years in Oakland. Hell, AB couldn't even make it to the regular season, and he got signed in March or April. So he couldn't make it 6 months. At least Randy made it 2 years.
He did. So I was shocked by what Bill Belichick dug in and said, because you rarely, if ever, see him get defensive before reporters. Usually he says next to nothing. He works hard at saying nothing.
Yeah.
And that was a defensive answer. Like,
You said that about when we signed Randy.
Oh, really? Okay. And he's a watch this guy. He loves to say to the rest of the league, watch what I can do with this troubled player.
Right.
Because watch what my culture will do for him. And he won't ever admit this publicly, but watch what his leader, his quarterback, can do, because the leader has had a long history of taking troubled players under his wing in the locker room and sort of showing them the Patriot way, how to be a pro, how to win football games. So Belichick has all that going for him, and so they become the watch this franchise. We'll take your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, right? Yeah. And we'll win championships with them.
Right.
Okay, now I'm going to go a different direction on this one. This is interesting in light of what we heard late last night about the lawsuit.
Yeah.
Right.
Did they win a championship with Randy Moss?
Nope.
They did not win a championship. So what happened in 2007? They went Randy Moss haywire. The whole offense went Randy crazy, and records fell like snow in Foxborough in December, right? Because they set all kinds of records. Tom threw 50 touchdown passes, and Randy caught 23. And those are record, and all the other, they set records for highest point differential, most first downs, most touchdown scores, blah, blah, blah. It's just, And then what happened? They finished that year 13th in rushing. So they went past crazy. And they got to 18-0 fairly easily. And then what happened? They ran into a team that could flat out rush the passer.
With 4.
With 4. And all 4 of them were really good at rushing the passer, right? Because those are 4 stalwarts, starting with Michael Strahan. And what happened in that Super Bowl, which they narrowly lost, Tom threw it 48 times for a grand total of 229 yards. 48 passes. They ran 16 times in that Super Bowl for a grand total of 45 yards. Well, I can make a case, if you were balanced the way they were in the playoffs last year with Sony Michel and company, Burkhead. Yeah. They were completely 50-50-ish, where they could gash you with the run. Well, I can make a case that the game plan was all wrong for the Giants. Maybe against that pass rush, you could run on it, right? Maybe you could hurt it. If they're focused on getting to Tom Brady and turning up the heat on him, maybe you could just run right by them. Well, they were not a rushing football team.
No.
So then what happened the next year? Well, the Ray Rice game happened, where they lost at home 33-14. And remember, he goes 83 on his first carry. And they ran for a grand total of 234 yards on New England. Okay, well, that won't work. So now you're struggling to run, and your defense can't stop the run. So you go out, and that was a wild card game because they went 10-6. And then what happened the next year? The 4th game was at Miami on Monday Night Football. Do you remember what happened to Randy Moss then? He finally he had quit on the Raiders, and he started quitting on Belichick. Remember his bad body language, and he caught no balls.
He wanted to raise.
Yeah, and he wanted to raise, but he was just out there kind of half speed, half-hearted, going through the motions. And he got no targets and no catches. And a couple days later, he was traded back to Minnesota.
Yeah.
Okay? So how did the Randy Moss work out? So if you're bragging about, well, you didn't think, well, I could do it with Randy Moss. What did you do with Randy? You set records.
Right.
Did you win championships? You run no. And this is a franchise that does nothing but win championships.
Important to point out. I hadn't
Did
thought of
you?
it that way.
Right.
Do you have anything to show for Randy Moss? You do not.
Yeah. I guess some of the things, and like I said, Skip, we don't really know because when he got traded back to Minnesota, he ended up getting cut a short while later, ended up in Tennessee, then retired.
Well, that was kind of the end of that, right?
And then he retired, was out of football for a year, and then came back with San Francisco when they went to the Super Bowl. He had, 30, 40 catches, 400 plus, 500 yards, a couple of touchdowns. So like I said, I don't really know what really ultimately led to Randy being removed from Minnesota. We just know the situation in Oakland.
But we don't have time to detail all the Randy incidents. I mean, Jenny was just a baby then, right?
I remember plenty of them, though.
Well,
he was always in the news.
He was always in the news for the wrong reasons.
The meter maid. You had to get into it with the meter maid.
But you loved him and you hated him, and it was very confusing as a fan.
There was
I
a
feel
big
like a lot of
incident
people
where
thought that.
they had a caterer come in and serve lunch, and he called it dog food.
Oh, yeah. You would feed. Yeah. And he said, well, then the sponsors, he had something on the sponsors.
Oh, on the bus. On the bus. He was just
But that was a shame the sponsors on the bus. But he did say that. He walked into the dining hall and said he wouldn't feed that. And I think that was the end of it. I think.
So,
very nice
okay, I got it. And was he a model citizen for a couple of, yes, he was. And it got you where?
But you loved watching him on the field. And I do have to say that because when I talk to my friends growing up about the Vikings when we were young, I mean, Randy Moss comes up in every conversation.
The 98 Vikings or the 97.
But I'm trying to think, as a professional athlete, what would make me get so upset that I want to fight the general manager?
I hope nothing.
I mean, really, what do I accomplish if I fight him?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I mean, what I get what do I win? It's like, man, Sharpe put that thing on the general manager.
Way to go, Sharpe.
Yeah, you should beat the general manager up. For what?
Don't do that.
Get to deal with a coach.
Yeah. It's not a good sign. You don't do that.
I'm like, dude.
Well, we got to talk about Jerry Jones a bit. Skip, these contract negotiations about Dak, he said something yesterday that could be a bit telling that maybe they're turning ugly.
Imminent.
You happy?
Is there a new definition of
quotes.
imminent? You got?
We'll tell you what he's saying next.
No mercy.
So Jerry Jones spoke yesterday and wanted to clarify his statement that contract talks with Dak Prescott were, quote, imminent. Jerry said that his comments were his own opinion on the negotiations and that it still takes both sides to make the deal happen. Jerry continued saying, quote, it sure might not be Dak's opinion. When Dak expresses his opinion or his agent expresses their opinion, that may be different than my opinion. And so that can go on for a long time. So when somebody asks your opinion on whether something's done that takes two to do it, they're speaking just from their perspective. And in my mind, we were fast approaching a deal. Shannon, did you get all that?
Yeah, I did.
Is it a good sign or a bad sign that there is no deal yet between Dak and the Cowboys?
Yeah. Skip, he said something very, very interesting. I know you heard it. He said, in my mind, we were. What is word context? Is that the tense, Skip? I need the tense because I'm not good at this. Skip, I'm not good at this stuff. You major in English and literature and all this. I'm not good at tense.
Past.
Oh, word.
Word.
You see, Jerry and Steven keep talking because they're trying to sway public opinion. They're painting this picture that the reason this deal isn't done is because Dak won't give us old country discount because we ain't no state taxes. If people, I love this when people say, Shannon, there's no state taxes on in Texas. I'm like, yeah, there's no state taxes on the bosses that pay these salaries in Texas either. So it's not like the players is the only one reaping benefits from living in the state of Texas, Skip Bayless. You love to throw that around also.
Owners don't have a salary cap.
No. Players don't either.
Yes, they do.
The NFL have the salary cap. I'm not the NFL, I'm a player. So you pay me what I deserve, Skip. I need my money. Now, as I was saying, if Jerry and Steven will stop talking, trying to sway public opinion to get this man to take a discount, and if he's unwilling to take a discount, that means he's selfish. He doesn't care about winning. Because it seems to me, Dak and his representative, they're not listening to what Jerry and Steven says. And it's saying, Jerry said it best, I'm on a timeline, but Dak might not be on the timeline that I'm on. You know what I'm saying, Skip? Hold on. He's trying to talk, and Dak got another call coming in. He's talking to his agent. They don't listen to anything Jerry has to say. Skip, I also believe that this deal would have happened if Jerry was 1,000% sure that Dak was his guy. They could have done this offseason. What else did they need to see? If he plays the most important position, he's the most valuable player, as Skip has alluded to, and he banged this table for the last 3 years. Why didn't he get his deal done first? Why did you do Lyle Collins? Why did you do Jalen Smith? Why did you do Zeke Elliott? Why? Why wasn't Dak first? And then you hear all these guys now. Carson Palmer, he had an opinion. He says, if I was him, I would do between 10 and 15 kind of number. Win a bunch of games, a bunch of Super Bowls, and make up the money he lost out by being one of the top 2 or 3 highest paid in the league, Palmer said. He'll make that endorsement tenfold.
Tenfold.
The one thing I noticed about Carson Palmer, he never gave a discount, Jenny.
Yeah.
He made over $170 million by not giving discounts.
And how many Super Bowl rings
Well,
did he have?
and, Jenny, did you know that he quit his way out of Cincinnati, went to Oakland? It's easy to tell someone what they should do. Why didn't you do that?
Yeah.
Why did you
I
say?
think he's saying, why didn't I do that?
Because
That's the point of this.
No.
Yeah.
Why he said he didn't do that? Because he wanted to tell somebody what to do with their money. People always, Skip, you ever get that, Skip? Man, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't have my dogs on the couch. I wouldn't do that. Whoa, this is my couch, my dogs. It's my money. When you get your money, if you don't have if you have dogs and you don't want them on the couch, so be it. But don't tell me how to spend my money. I hate when people spend other people's money. Carson Palmer, Dak ain't giving you no discount, Skip. So get that through you, like you tell me, I got a thick skull. Get that through your thick skull. Jerry and Stephen Jones, I would start calling you Skip Jones. Because you related to the Joneses. That somehow you backdoored in there, you in the wheel or something. Because for you to keep wanting Dak. Yeah, he in the wheel or something, Jenny. For you to keep wanting Dak to take a discount, no. Something ain't something. I smell something. Something in the milk ain't clean.
In the past, Jerry has called me several names, and they weren't Jones.
They weren't the
Trust
will.
me.
Oh,
And I love Jerry, but we had our moments.
Yeah.
We had our
But
clashes.
y'all back in good time, good graces
I
now.
don't know. I don't deal with him. I just sit here and talk about him.
Yeah, you yourself would use something.
Okay. Feet to fire.
Yes.
Are you predicting this is turning ugly? I want to get it from the horse's mouth across from me.
But there's
Turning
no,
ugly?
No, Skip, it's not turning ugly.
Oh.
It's just that what they want to do, what they want to pay Dak, and what Dak is willing to accept it. I think we got to get here because right now we're here.
How do we know we're here as opposed to here?
Because I believe if Dak would have been willing to accept their number, Jerry says imminent. Because if Dak was willing to accept their number, he'd already be signed. Am I correct? Yes.
No, you're desperate.
Desperate.
You're just desperate.
Why?
You are reaching and almost groveling to find some angle to undermine and undercut the runaway Super Bowl train that is becoming my Dallas Cowboys. You need dissension, you need stalemate, you need conflict, you need impasse within the ranks.
I just want a guy to get what he deserves.
You want my quarterback to be somehow unhappy, distracted, and finally just falling apart over all this.
No,
Yep.
that's not him.
Yeah.
He's made of the right stuff.
He is definitely made of the right stuff. You know, it is possible, knowing Jerry and his use of language, he could be using the other eminent. You know, there are two eminents, and one starts with an E. And you know what that eminent means? It means you're famous and respected. And as a negotiator, using the word eminent maybe to describe himself, he is famous and respected as a negotiator.
Yeah.
I'm talking about E-M-I-N-E-N-T, that one. You know, that eminent?
Yeah.
Okay.
When I hear imminent, I'm thinking of imminent danger.
I know.
Yeah,
A
but
grave.
Spell that out
that's
for you.
I. Okay.
Yeah, but
This is E.
he said he was.
It means you're royal. You know.
Yeah.
You're
Eminent.
okay, right?
I think
Okay.
Stevie had it best.
Yeah.
Words don't mean the same thing to
I
Jerry
know.
as they mean to everybody
That is true.
else.
Shannon Sharpe.
Yes.
I'm going to try to explain this to your thick head one more time.
Please.
Dak Prescott was clearly, of the triplets, if I can go to triplets, the new triplets, of those three contracts, the likeliest to take the team-friendliest deal is obviously the quarterback. So they needed to get Zeke done because, speaking of hard heads, he's got big pride, hard head. We got to pay him because, as you correctly pointed out from the start, window is closing on that position. Shelf life is shortest. You've got to give him some guarantee right now so that he can give you all he's got for the next 2, 3, 4 years, whatever. And they did that.
Yes.
So they've got Amari now on a $14 million deal this year, so he's cool enough right now.
Right.
So now you turn your sights to the quarterback, and you hope that he will look at this the way Carson Palmer, and I've brought this up to you many times, and I love the Carson Palmer quotes, which you actually pointed up to me before the show started today. So I found them, printed them out, and they're powerful because I think he's saying, I wish I'd done this.
Oh, you
because
could've.
he's got no Super Bowl.
He could have.
He
He could have done it, Skip.
He made $174 million.
Yeah.
And So far, Dak has made, if we include this year, he is making a grand total for his whole career of $4.8 million.
Yeah.
But as I believe Adam Schefter reported, there's about $50 million coming in off the field. So he does. The team is friendly to him because he does get to play quarterback for America's team, which means you're going to get a whole lot of national.
Well, he'd be playing quarterback for somebody else. Dallas ain't the only team that has the quarterback position, Skip.
Well, he's our quarterback, and we love our quarterback.
We'll pay him.
Jerry does.
You got to pay for love.
Okay.
You got to buy bags or hell, you got to buy something.
But what did I tell you about the great Tim Duncan, the great leader of the San Antonio Spurs dynasty? What did he do over his last 4 years? He could have gone LeBron and said, pay me $36 million, whatever it is this year, but $38 million. I always undercut him and I underchange him. Tim Duncan, over his last 4 years, as a superstar in this league, as they continue to win, he made 9.7, 10.4, 10.4, and then $6 million. LeBron, 38. Tim Duncan, like 10, 10, 10, and 6.
Skip,
okay, and what happened? Deepest bench in the league. What happened to the Miami Heat in the 2014 finals? They got blown off the floor by a record margin because they had three-point shooters coming out of the woodwork.
But Skip, remember on that team, LeBron had taken the discount. The big three had taken the discount. Chris Bosh, D. Wade, and LeBron
to begin with.
Right. They had so over the life of the 4 years he was there, he took less money than what he could have made. That was when he came to the conclusion, I will no longer play for anything less than the max.
Okay. How much does Tom Brady make this year?
Skip,
$23 million.
Okay.
LeBron,
maybe that's
38,
all he's worth.
Tom Brady, 23. Tom Brady here. LeBron.
Don't do that, Skip. Don't put your hands. Just stop.
Yeah. No,
Stop.
come on.
No,
Seriously.
No.
6 and 3, 3 and 6.
But Skip, why is it my job? I mean, why is it my job to take less money? So to do what? Okay, I'll be willing to take less money if you pass that savings along to the fans.
What did Carson Palmer conclude? Dak needs to make sure that they continue to pay their offensive line. That is really what stirs the pot for them.
Well,
Am I right about that?
Yes, but they're under contract for the foreseeable future.
Okay, so you make sure that you keep them under contract for foreseeable.
That's not my job.
Yep.
My job, hold on. My job is to make sure I still play at a high level, because if I don't play at that high level, y'all gonna be wanting some of this money back from me. So I'm gonna continue to play at the high level. I'll let you worry about contracts, because see, if you want me to worry about contracts, that's gonna cost you also, because that's a second job. Now, if you only paying me for one job, and I wanna be adequately compensated.
Okay, what did Troy Aikman say Sunday on Fox ahead of the Cowboy game? He said that all you need to do is sit for a couple of minutes with Dak Prescott, and you realize he is, what, 2 words? Different and special. Different and special. That's how he's negotiating, as a different and special player.
Yeah, the different and special, you're supposed to make buku money. When I watch the movies, I noticed that Denzel is different and special. That's why he gets $20 million on that movie.
There's no salary cap. You can pay him whatever you want to pay him. And he doesn't really need a team around him because he is the best at what he does.
Dak says I'm the best at what I do.
Yeah.
That's what Dak's saying.
Does Denzel need a supporting cast?
Yeah.
No.
He can't do a movie by himself.
Well, yeah, he probably can.
No,
and he has.
No.
He's done it with a lot of no-names.
All I'm saying is Dak says, look, for the last couple of years, I've been a starter. I won offensive rookie of the year, and I made about $600,000.
Yep.
Now, you could have come to me in my second year, but you didn't. You could have come to me in my third year, but you didn't. So now for you sandbagging, so Skip, that's how it goes, getting into a relationship. The longer you date a girl and before you get married, you go up a carat size every year you're not married. So if you make her wait 5 years, you got to start out with 5 carats.
Really?
You make her wait 10.
Never heard
That's what you do.
Great to
That's
me.
what you do.
How would you
I didn't
know?
know that.
I'm just saying, Skip. I'm just saying.
Did you wait too long? You
But
couldn't
every
afford the
year
ring?
you make a woman wait, that's a carat. So you make her wait 10 years if you want to. 10.
I made Ernestine wait 10 years?
Yeah, she better have 10 carats on her. Ernestine.
Nope.
Ernestine.
10
Nope.
carats.
Ernestine, you go right on 24
Nope.
carat. You go right on the Elliot. You should have went to Elliot and get you a 10 carat diamond ring.
She did
Say it's on
okay,
Skip.
but I don't know
Say
if
it's
she
on
did 10
Skip.
carats.
Say it's on Skip,
Yeah,
Ernestine. They know who
okay.
Skip is.
No, they do.
10 carats.
Shannon, you're going to be wrong again, because this is all about, he's going to get his guaranteed money, but how far do you spread it? Did you do 7 years?
Well, here's the thing, Skip. He doesn't have the thing is, what you do, Jared Goff, when you do the 4-year extension, you already have the 5th year option already picked in, built in, so it's a 5-year deal.
Yep.
So he has no option. So you got that at the bare minimum start at 5, and you might can go to 6. So is it 6 for 180?
How about 7?
No, I ain't doing no 7 for no 180.
Oh, now you're negotiating for Dak
No,
Prescott.
no, I ain't doing no 7 for 180. I need 30 a year. So 7 years, I need at least 210 with that.
Shannon, Dak Prescott is going to win Super Bowls
And
with an S.
And he's going
Plural.
to win Super
Plural.
Bowls
Plural.
as one of the highest paid, the highest paid if he wins.
So you admitted he is going to win Super Bowls.
I said if he does, Skip Bayless, he will do it as the highest
How
paid.
important were Shannon Sharpe's 3 Super Bowl rings to his post-career career?
Skip, but we ain't talking about
huge.
Shannon.
They're important.
Yeah, they're important. But I mean, give me 174 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want it both ways.
I do. I do. Well, I'm glad I didn't have to make that decision, Skip Bayless.
Okay.
I'm glad. I got Super Bowl rings, I got into the Hall of Fame, and I get to sit up here and beat you up every day.
and you-
that's the highlight.
Doesn't
You did
hurt.
not need a John Elway. You didn't need a Terrell Davis. You
Yeah.
didn't need anybody.
Yeah.
You were the show.
No, I say, see, there you go. I ain't say all that.
You were the show.
You were the Denzel of the NFL.
Well, you know, I'm a little ahead of my time.
You were the
They-
show, though, for the right reasons
Yeah,
because
I
of what
need-
you're doing on the field.
I needed social media when I played.
Yeah, you. Oh,
Can't even imagine. I think we're probably in a better place that we didn't have it.
Yeah.
One guy who is trying to be the show all the time, on or off the field, OBJ, doubled down on wearing his 6-figure watch during games. Skip and Shannon are going to try to make sense of all of it next.
No mercy.
Odell Beckham Jr. says he will continue to wear his high-end designer watch during games. The NFL planned to talk to OBJ about the watch, citing that players aren't allowed to wear hard objects on the field. Odell said the watch is plastic and therefore, by the letter of the law, is allowed. The receiver also said he was just being targeted, and if it wasn't the watch, then he would have been criticized for how he tied his shoes. Shannon, should Odell be allowed to wear this watch?
Hell no. But if there's no way, there's nothing in the manual that says how you tie your shoe isn't allowed. They said hard objects isn't allowed. Now, Richard Mills said this watch is indestructible. So how hard must
pronounce it correctly.
Richard Mills.
Thank you.
So how hard must this plastic be, Skip, if it's indestructible?
Some hard plastic.
Yeah, really.
Odell, is this where you want to plant your flag? Is this so? This is it. This is where you want to set up shop. This is where you say, you know what? I'm dropping anchor here. A watch. And then he said, Skip, I don't want it to be about the watch, but I want it to be about football. Well, hell, stop wearing the watch and play football. You know, and he tweeted like, if it's not one thing, it's something else. Odell, do you realize why you're in Cleveland? Because that's what the Giant ownership said. If it's not one thing
That's
with you,
exactly what
it's
they
something
said.
else.
I agree.
And say, you know what? We wanted to be something else with someone else. We getting you up out of here. A year after making him the highest paid receiver, they said, you know what? We'd rather move on without you. He doesn't get it, Skip. And he wants them to make an exception. The exception is you can't wear hard jewelry on the field. That's the exception. They're not making an exception for you, Odell. Why don't you get that? That's what I don't get. Look, AB got attention for the wrong reason. Odell, you do realize that. AB was getting attention for all the wrong reasons.
Yep.
Now you get garnering attention. See, we talking about a watch. We ain't talking about they just lost, Skip. They just lost by 30. We ain't even mention that. We talking about a watch.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not the game, a watch. A Richard Mille.
So to speak, Odell is saying, watch this, as in watch me
Yes.
wear my watch on Sunday, because he has, like so many diva receivers, attention deficit disorder, right? He needs attention and he's not getting enough, so I'll wear my watch.
Yeah.
And now he's claiming that it's become a permanent fixture on his wrist, as in he wears it in the shower, he sleeps with it, he never takes off his new watch.
Yeah.
He loves his new orange banded watch.
Yeah.
So
Sounds
he's
like a
just
child.
It's kind of childish.
Yeah, like a blanket, like Lionel in the blanket. Skip, you know, you'll never see Lionel without that blanket.
Security watch, guys.
It's a security
new
watch
thing.
because we all know during football games you need to know what time it is.
Yeah. Well, look,
time
I
is
guess he got off early. They only scored 13 points, so he like, oh yeah, there's overtime here. The game over with. Now
Time to go.
I'm not getting enough targets. I got to get out of here.
Skip. of all the things that you can stand up and say, you know what, I'm upset at the NFL about. I'm upset about not having guaranteed contracts. I'm upset about not having lifetime medical benefits. Of all the things, you want to take a stand against a watch. Normally, Skip, if I'm on...
And by the way, real quick point. You played for a long time. I covered for a long time. Has any player ever worn a watch other you brought up
Reggie Roby.
Reggie Roby, but he was it was a stopwatch
yes.
to time the flights of his punts.
And Skip, that was back in the late 80s, 90s. Maybe they changed the rules for that very reason.
Maybe.
But there's a reason with cast, Skip, they have you check. You know, cast is not made of concrete.
No.
They made of a hard substance, but they don't want people out there with that hard substance cracking people side the head. Well, if that watch is, Richard Mille said that watch is indestructible. If something is indestructible, Skip, how hard must it be?
Hard as your head.
But
Right?
I don't, Skip, this what I can't understand. But why, Odell? Okay, you got the attention. You got a $200,000 watch. And you got so much bread you can play in it, and if something were to happen to it, no problem, bro, I'm good. But, Odell, just take the watch off and just ball out. You better than this. You better than this, bro.
If it's not one thing, it's another.
And that's
If
what
it's not proposing to the kicking net, it's the video in the Paris hotel room, right? Okay.
I just don't get it. You got attention. You got the attention that whether you wanted it or not. But you can't say you want to make it about football when you're doing other things besides playing the game of football. I mean, you didn't have it with the Giants? So did Odell have this watch with the Giants, Skip? I never saw Odell with a watch on when he played with the Giants. So it just became a thing this year. Because I guess, Skip, you're not in New York. People don't notice you as much.
They don't. That is a fact. And it's, I think, very significant. He's not a paid spokesman for this company.
Yeah.
He's just doing it on his own for attention.
You gotta love the PR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he's auditioning.
Well, they
to
need
be
to give me a little something because I keep on mentioning his name, Richard Mille.
Yeah,
We
do
know
it again.
what
Say
you're
it
doing.
again.
Richard Mille.
Okay.
If we could get one to just examine.
Yeah, let me see one.
Just
One of them old pieces like Jay-Z
experiment.
got. He got one of like 10, I think, called like 3/4 of a meal.
Really?
Or that one Nadal had on at the U.S. Open.
Yep.
I'd like to have that one myself.
Would you?
No, I'm in the paddocks.
Huh.
Skip, I'm trying to get a paddock for Lee. Yeah, why don't you help your boy out? They might give you one. Say you one.
No,
I'm a watch
sorry.
debate show.
Man, I don't want that Seiko.
I got my Seiko.
I don't want
good
this.
luck charm.
It's destructible.
Yeah.
It's not like it's that piece that Odell got down is very destructible.
I would say. But he says, well, how can you wear a knee brace? Aren't those hard objects? Yeah, but they have a purpose.
Yeah.
Your watch does what exactly for you?
Got Skip and Shannon talking about it
Yep.
on
Here
Undisputed.
we are.
Correct.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Day two.
Yeah.
You want to like OBJ, but you
But Skip, when I dislocated my elbow, I had to have a brace on. But I had to have a soft cover over the top of it. I just couldn't have the brace out there.
Yep. Hard object.
It's a hard out? No, I ain't wearing that pad. I ain't wearing the pad on top of it. I would just want to play with the brace. Really? So that's the fight. Of all the fights you can pick.
Okay, so does Freddie need to get in the mix here and say, stop doing this? Take
Freddie
the
said
watch
he-
off?
Freddie happy to have a job. Freddie ain't gonna say nothing.
Freddie
just think-
admitted he did not notice. How can you not see that your famous wideout comes out wearing a watch?
He's got to
Hey,
notice
Freddie,
now.
it's time for you to call me another play.
Yeah.
I done gone 2 minutes without getting the ball thrown in my direction. You know what time it is.
Yeah.
I think it's hard considering every drama with OBJ, and the last thing we talk about is how he actually performs on the field. We haven't talked about it in so
Well,
long.
at least he took
for
the
success.
focus off 43-13.
Yes.
He's trying.
But everything that's happened to Odell, Skip, is self-inflicted.
I know.
This is all Odell. The Josh Norman situation, the kicking nets, all of this is self-inflicted. This is not made up. We didn't make we need something to talk about. Odell did this. And he knew he got exactly what he had hoped for. Now, it won the game.
Yep.
But no, you can't wear that, Odell. Just take it up. I promise you. You're still going to be OBJ without that watch.
Maybe
Because
better.
you were OBJ before you got the watch.
I got to tell you, when the weather turns cold out there in Cleveland, as he refers to it, he's going to be get a little lonesome out there for the Big Apple.
He's got to get over himself. That's all I have to say about it. I'd like to move on from the watch game until we get one to just make sure it is indestructible. We'll have to move on from now on. Guys, you know who's climbing up the power rankings? It's Skip's Cowboys. But are they being overrated? Mark Schiller joins us. Let's get his answer next.
No mercy.
The Cowboys are climbing up the USA Today power rankings. Dallas has moved up from 14th to 7th after easily taking down the Giants 35-17 on Sunday. According to Fox Bet, the Cowboys' Super Bowl odds also improved from 22-1 up to 16-1 after their Week 1 win. Joining us now is Fox NFL analyst Mark Schiller. Mark, are we overrating the Cowboys' performance last Sunday?
No, we're underrating it.
Are you
We're underrating it.
You're underrating?
Wait, didn't he play pro football with you?
Yeah.
Oh,
We see things differently.
It's okay. We can have a difference of opinion, but I'm looking at this now. Defensively, they are an incredibly talented group. They did not play as well as you would like to have them play on the defensive side. But I'm going to go to the offensive side of the football for the Dallas Cowboys, and they are as impressive a group as any group I watched last week. And I'm talking about, how do you want us to beat you? So it doesn't matter what you do as a defense. We can come out and we can dictate to you, say, hey, man, 8-man boxes, 9-man boxes, we're going to cram it down your throat. Or we can play the game of, how are you going to match up to this formation? Because if you're going to give us nickel, you know what? We'll run it down your throat. You're going to give us base, we'll throw it over the top of your head. I look at them from a personnel standpoint. They got Travis Frederick back in the middle at the center position. He's an outstanding football player. You look at them across the board, they are absolutely dominant in the trenches. Ezekiel Elliott is, in my mind, the most complete best back in football.
Thank you.
Because he will run you over. He can run around you. He caught the ball 77 times last year out of the backfield. And in blitz pickup, he tries to murder people. I mean, he is like, to me, the best blitz pickup back I've watched. And now you couple that with Amari Cooper on the outside. Randall Cobb is a huge pickup, not only the underneath stuff, but all the gadget stuff, the jet sweep stuff, running out of the backfield. And what's the kid's name? Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup is developing into a really nice number 2.
He can gallop.
Yeah, they can get you. And Jason Witten can't outrun anybody, but he just can get open. Like, there's certain guys that just have that. So I look at them offensively, and we can go old school and say, this is what we do, we're going to dictate to you, or we can go new school and say, show us what you're going to do, and we'll adjust to whatever you're going to do, and we'll beat you that way too. As long as their quarterback continues to have the anticipatory throws that he had last week, and the accuracy that they had last week, and the confidence with which he threw the ball last week, this is as good an offense as there is in the National Football League.
But we can both agree, the Giants are a bad football team.
We can, yes, they do play professional football.
Yeah, but they're bad.
But they're not.
Yeah.
They're not great.
Play in Dallas's division.
But here's the thing.
There is a rivalry.
Skip, you know, I graduated high school. There were 63 people in my graduating class, but I can assure you I wasn't the top 5. You see, we all graduated, same graduating class, 1986. But we all weren't equal. There are 32 NFL teams.
Your IQ was top
Yeah,
one.
it could have been, yeah. But, you know, me and books, I was allergic to books back then. You know?
There you go.
Yeah, I broke out hives. My thing is that I think they're overrating the Cowboys because they beat a bad Giants. How you go from – so the question that I posed to Skip earlier, so they had – what about the Titans? I think the Titans going on the road and beating the Browns was more impressive. Green Bay going on the road and beating Chicago, who won the division last year, was more impressive. The Rams going into Carolina. But the Cowboys beat a pathetic Giants football team. And now, they're going to Super Bowl. Man, I booked me up, done bet them down. People done bet Vegas down because they do this every year. Cowboys have one big game, and all them Cowboy suckers go in there, take the little bit of money, $5, $10. I got the Cowboys winning the Super Bowl. And Vegas said, thank you very much. There's another room onto the hotel. Thank you very much. There's another act we can play for. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, Skip. You know it. You know this win was overrated. And for you to jump from 14 to 7, and Green Bay barely moved, the Rams barely moved, the Titans, no, overrated. You're overrated. You're always going to be overrated. And I can't wait. I can't wait for this thing to fall like a house of cards.
Shannon Sharpe. I am not ashamed of myself. I'm proud of myself.
You should be.
Because my team, throughout the offseason, and it seemed to go on for 17 months, not 3 or 4 months, my team was criminally underrated the whole offseason. And all of a sudden, a lot of people are seeing the light now. This has been a good week here on Undisputed because a lot of people are coming around. The great Mark Schlereth just came around because he analyzes coaches' tape. He has high football IQ, and he is saying, wait a second. He's seeing and saying what Troy Aikman said before the game. Troy went so far, and he is not quick and effusive with his praise, but he just said, I'm seeing a roster as loaded as any that I played with in the 90s when they won 3 Super Bowls. That's just the potential of the roster. Obviously, you have to realize the potential, and you have to execute the potential consistently, and you got to go do what you guys were part of doing. How many times did you win together? Two times together.
Yeah.
So, and you have how many rings? You have
3.
3 super. You got 3. So you know what it requires to do this. But you see the makings of being able to do this. You see the course that this team is on now.
Let me. So Troy mentioned those 90 teams, and I've told this story before, but it's worth repeating. I went there in '94 when I was with the Redskins, and I watched them warm up before our offense came out because I was doing some short snapping and waiting for our offense to come out. And I watched them go, I believe it was, and you may correct me here, but it was Irvin Harper, it was Mark Tuinei, Nate Newton, Mark Stepnowski, Larry Allen, and Eric Williams. It was Moose Johnson at fullback. It was Emmitt Smith at tailback. It was Troy Aikman at quarterback, and it was Jay Novacek at tight end. And I was watching them warm up and do their offense, and I was like, you know what? I play for the Washington Redskins, and we don't have one joker on our offense that could start on that offense.
Oh, they were loaded.
And I look at them right now, and I'm like, you go man for man down that line of scrimmage, there's maybe a handful of guys. Okay, maybe your left guard, but there may be a handful of guys that you would trade and say, okay, that guy's better than the guy they have playing. But it's only a handful.
Yeah.
And that's how talented
Exactly,
they
the quarterback
are.
position. I gotta go up and line. I know a lot of quarterbacks you're trained to put behind that line. Can't you, Skip Bayless? Can't you name like 5 or 6 right now?
No, I cannot. I told you the whole offseason. My quarterback was the most underrated, underappreciated quarterback in the entire league. And he might be historically one of the most underrated, underappreciated, maybe all-time underappreciated until now. And I think on Sunday, you saw his skills, his acumen on full display because he shredded a Giants defense.
Terrible Giants defense.
That is a division rival. I'm going to say it again. That team went on the road last year and covered 7 out of 8 point spreads because it was underrated on the road.
The team that showed up Sunday, they were the team in the movie, the Little Giants.
Okay.
No, not
With that said, and I don't think the Giants are great, but I will say this about Dak. Every throw on time, deadly accurate, and I'm talking about some tight windows. So now,
where were tight windows at? I didn't see them.
Saw him.
I didn't see them.
On all the slants he completed, they were like I was impressed. Now, you know, we'll see, and plus he had a couple over the top that were just that were great.
Yep.
But I'm more impressed with the underneath stuff because, like, Shannon Sharpe will tell you this: throwing a post is one of the easiest things in the world. If I got a smash route or you know something,
deep over.
If I've got anything underneath that holds the safeties, right? So I've got a basic underneath that's holding the safeties, and I throw a post behind it, and that you don't get any help from that backside corner. That's the easiest throw in football, right? I can throw that up. I just throw it out there and let my receiver just adjust his route and run to it, right? Okay. So that's not a hard throw. It's the on time, hit that back step, whoom, inside, deep slants, deep outs. You know, those are the throws that, to me, those take a skill set that your quarterback has to have, and he showed that in week 1.
Oh, like the throw that old Walker to him there? I'm trying to figure out how we beat a team. We number 4. We win and we drop 6 spots. Where they do that at?
Case Keenum, you have little to no regard for him. In fact, I think you've termed him garbage on the show before. Case Keenum.
He's good backup.
Yeah, he threw for 380 yards at Philadelphia against a defense whose back end is flammable and tortuous.
Okay, what about with Eli? People talking about Eli should be benched for Daniel Jones, a rookie.
Yeah.
So what we talking about, Skip?
Speaking of offensive lines, the Giants have a pretty decent offensive
No, they
line.
don't.
And they have the, according to you, best running back in football. And they have one of the best corners in football, say you, Janoris Jenkins. He's Jackrabbit. He puts the handcuffs on the number one receiver. And I think Amari's just running circles around.
Well, you get no pressure. Corners, as your time, you're only good as your pressure.
Yeah. Who's going to get pressure against the Cowboys?
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
We gonna find out. I want you to keep that same energy.
Yeah.
When you play the Eagles, when you
I
play the
kept it
Patriots,
the whole offseason
you
when
play
my
New
team
Orleans,
was ranked 19th, 20th.
and when you play the Bears, I want that same energy.
Yeah, well, you
haven't
get it.
wavered. That's true.
Yeah.
You haven't wavered.
Dug in.
Your day coming.
Yeah. I think
day
your
coming.
day has arrived.
No, it ain't yet.
Yeah.
Skip's dug in like an Alabama tick.
No.
He's
Your day-
dug. He's
yeah,
dug.
Like
He
a
dug in.
tick on a hat.
Yeah, don't worry about it though.
It does feel
Your
like
day
more
coming.
guests are coming on, Shannon, and kind of
Yeah.
Well, I told him to go.
Something's happening.
I told him to go inside with Skip.
Yeah.
Make it feel good.
The tide.
You thought Revis was an island. Look at that island over there. Look
I
at
like it over here by myself. Because I want all the praise and adulation when I get to say I told you so.
When have you ever been able to tell me so?
In the last 3 years, I told you the Cowboys weren't gonna do nothing.
Division title.
That ain't
2 out of 3.
Who get happy about that?
We do.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 'cause it's
When
been too long.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It'll be even longer.
Yeah.
You
was
should be good
happening.
at waiting.
You know what just tears me apart about this? This was happening the last 10 games last year, and I kept saying, "Do you see it? Nope, because you're so dug in that you've gone blind."
I know what I saw. I saw Todd Gurley and what you call him?
Yeah.
The Rams.
No, what's his name?
C.J. Anderson.
I saw him run for about 300 on y'all.
Yeah,
That's what I
if you
did
can
see.
explain that
And
to
I saw
me.
your offense just nothing.
Oh, nothing?
Nothing.
Oh.
Nothing.
My quarterback had a QBR of 84 in that game. That's really high on that scale. So somebody who really knows football said he played really well, played way better than Jared Goff, who had a 59
Hey,
QBR.
Steve, you think I can get a discount on that sauce you be making?
Yeah.
Because I had to take QBR off my menu. I used to have QBR on my menu, but nobody was coming in to order.
Right.
I just served dubs and L's.
Yeah.
That's it. Which one you want?
Boy, Aaron Rodgers must be just in a famine right
No,
now.
no,
You
no.
can't eat at your
Hold on,
restaurant
didn't
at all.
he just go to? We're gonna see what Dak's gonna do
Yeah.
at Soldier Field in December.
Yes,
Because I
he
just
will.
saw Aaron
Okay.
Rodgers go
I
up
hear
there and
that.
win.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
good
know what?
stuff.
I kind of after I watched Chicago the other night, I kind of like my team's chances in that game. Yeah. Yeah, he's your quarterback.
No,
now.
he ain't my
You said you're going to see him this weekend, right?
I will see them this weekend.
Lord,
Mark,
have
good
mercy.
stuff.
Yeah,
Good to have you
likewise.
always with us. So the headline may read that DeMarcus Lawrence denied a kid an autograph, but there is really a lot more to the story than that. Do Skip and Shannon have a problem with it? We'll talk about it next.
No mercy.
So Cowboys defensive lineman DeMarcus Lawrence is drawing criticism after he snubbed a child wearing a Giants jersey who asked him for an autograph. While walking away, Lawrence said, quote, "Get the right jersey, son." Afterwards, Lawrence defended himself on Twitter, saying there are kids with Cowboys jerseys every day who don't get signatures from players. So, Shannon, are you okay with how Lawrence handled this situation?
Skip, this is something, having been a professional athlete, I get it. I don't think he should have had to go on Twitter and double down on the situation, but you can sign 1,000 and the one that you don't sign,
Yep.
you become a jerk.
Hard, yeah.
But as a player, as a Cowboy player, as a Bronco player, my first loyalty, honestly, I love all my fans. But the Bronco fans, the guys that have on my jersey that come see me on a regular basis, I'm probably going to be apt to probably lean in their direction.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd been just kept walking. I probably would at least, a lot of times, Skip, when I didn't sign an autograph, I would at least acknowledge the person. I would at least, I'll shake your hand. Don't feel like signing today. I didn't want to blow the person off completely. But sometimes, I mean, you get to a situation, if you sign one, I really hate to do this. No, you don't. You don't hate to do it. But as a child. And so, Skip, even if I wouldn't have signed, I probably would have shook his hand and said, hey, better luck next time. But I don't really have a problem with it. But I get it. But I get what DeMarcus is saying. And unless you've been in that situation, everybody's like, man, I said the same thing, Skip. My brother was a professional athlete way before, 2 years before me. And I was like, man, just sign it. He said, you'll see what I'm talking about. One day. I did.
So, on principle, I'm with DeMarcus here because I'm going to go, I don't have kids, but I don't know what would possess those parents to send that kid out to a Dallas Cowboy wearing a Saquon jersey after that game.
Right.
Like, what are the parents thinking? I don't even blame the kid that much. He's just sort of.
Go get his autograph.
Go get it.
Kids can have they can be fans of multiple players.
Yeah,
Doesn't just mean, I mean, okay, continue. It rubs me the wrong way.
Okay, but just on principle, because I sort of grew up in this division rivalry,
Right.
I get what
okay.
it means when you're a Cowboy versus a Giant, a Cowboy
Right.
versus Redskin, Cowboy versus those hated Eagles.
Right.
It's just a no. No, you just don't, you're not going to stoop to do that.
Right.
Okay, now I'm going to put myself in his shoes.
Right.
And I don't know what that feels like on that level, but I do know what it feels like on our level.
Right.
And I got to tell you, if I had been DeMarcus and you were angling this way, I'm just going to do it because it's more trouble than it's worth not to do it.
Yeah, the
because now
backlash.
you're going to have to defend yourself on
Right.
Twitter, and as you say, he doubled down, and maybe that's a bad look. But I'm still with the principle of it, Cowboys versus Giants. But on our little level here, I know what happens when I go out with my wife, Ernestine, on a Friday, if we go to Century City Mall or we go to the movies somewhere, and constantly I'm stopped for sometimes an autograph, but mostly a picture. And she gets awfully irritated because that's her time.
Right.
And I'll just stop for anybody because I'm just going to do it. So I tried to think last night, well, if they're wearing an ESPN t-shirt or even worse, a First Take t-shirt,
Right.
well, obviously I used to play for that team,
Right.
but still, am I offended by that? Yeah, I kind of am.
Right.
But if they ask for mine, that means they're probably watching Undisputed.
Right.
And I'm good to go. And I'm going to do any and all of them.
Skip, did you see the video? Mike Scott, who plays for the 76ers.
I saw it.
He grew up in Virginia.
Yep.
Now he's got he
Redskins.
plays for the 76ers,
Yep.
which means he plays in the city of Philadelphia. He shows up to go to tailgate in a Redskins jersey.
And you know what? A fight is going to happen.
Yes!
Because that's what happens.
Yes!
That's how deep those rivalries run.
And the thing is, like if it's just I'm probably thinking, Skip, if it's a guy walks up with a Raiders jersey, to be honest, I'm probably not going to sign it. Because I get up all the time now if someone walks up to me, well, I'm not a Broncos fan. Okay, fine. There's 300 million people in the U.S. There's 32 teams. There's enough teams to have enough fans. I'm not offended by that. I think sometimes they say it to maybe offend me. I'm not offended by it. But I can honestly say, and I don't think that ever happened to me, but I'm probably given a choice, let's see, Bronco fan or KC or Raiders fan. I'm sorry, Jenny. The Raiders and the Chiefs kids, they're going to lose out.
But he could have joked about it with him.
Yeah,
Hey,
but
this is the wrong jersey, bud, and then he's got a new fan for
Then
life.
you know what? I might have decided that if it was the Chiefs jersey that had Tony Gonzalez on it, I might have decided over the 88, big old sharp 84.
Would you really?
I think it's hard. I don't
He's-
understand
he's
that.
the greatest.
No,
tight
no.
end.
Don't get carried away, Skip.
Yeah. So if it hadn't been such a young kid,
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe it's a little easier. So, but if I'm in those shoes, I'm just going to
You bite the bullet, huh?
kind of laugh it off. Ha ha. Okay, I'll do it anyway. But what are the parents thinking?
Yeah.
What's the point?
Or I'll put my backpack up and say, nah, they can't see the jersey. They can see your face, but they can't see the Jets. They can't see the Giants, number 26. Opposed with the enemy. You the enemy.
I just have not been, I'm not in your position in getting approached the same amount of time. So I don't know what it's like. One time having coffee with you, I think you were approached 5 times. And it just, the reality of the situation, when you're in the public eye, you're going to get approached.
Yeah.
But I think
Wait,
it's
you had coffee with him?
a long time ago when the
Oh,
show
long time
started.
ago?
Gonna
Oh.
learn about the show.
Oh, things that we
I think
learn on
we
this
had
show.
coffee as well, Skip.
Uh-huh.
This was a different situation.
Jenny, you see how you there you
That
go.
wasn't
Now
the
I
point
There
of
you
the
go.
story. The
I
point
see you
of
got
the
on your
story
sneakers
was,
you jumping to conclusions.
Yeah.
I had not really realized just what it is like to be a professional athlete in that sense. And Skip, when you go out with Ernestine, I understand why she wouldn't really want to
Yeah.
shop for every single person, but it's that one person that you don't talk to that might change their view on you or maybe not watch the show.
What about the 1,000 people that I did sign?
Exactly.
It's just a one time. See? Skip.
You got to do the best you can, and you poke fun about the jersey. It's still a little kid. This isn't an adult wearing the wrong jersey. This is a kid. He doesn't know any better.
That's true.
He doesn't know any better.
What Ernestine gets the most irritated by is that most people want to do a little debate.
Yeah.
And it's going to take
That's
time, and
true.
we're late. to
And
the
you
movie.
and you willing to debate them?
Well, because they'll say, "Hey, I love Undisputed. I love you with Shannon, but you know what? You're just too hard on LeBron. No, I'm not. I'm not too hard on LeBron because of this. He's 3-6 in the NBA
So
Finals.
Bruce Lee. So anybody come up want to debate, you take time out of your schedule. Oh, Ernestine, hold his popcorn.
Wait,
right quick.
are you doing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
No.
Because there's a great scene in there with Bruce Lee.
No.
You don't know that scene.
I don't. I didn't go see it. I'm waiting on Hustlers on Friday night. I know you're going to see that, aren't you? With J-Lo.
I might hustle to that one.
I'm going to see it too.
Are you?
Yeah, but it's tough. But like I said, I get D-Law. The only problem that I got, Skip, I probably wouldn't have doubled down, and it probably would have blown over. It's probably not even been an issue by now. Because it's not the first time. It's probably the first time someone's caught this on camera. But
It's the social media aspect. Let me just say, it goes a long way when you get an autograph. And for so many of those fans, I've been around the U.S. Women's National Team, for years now. They spend about an hour after their matches signing for these kids, and I think that's why they are so respected by the fan base. So it's just that one time, but it's a good lesson.
But it's a time that is set aside for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Be careful with it.
So my only issue with DeMarcus Lawrence is I better see a little more out of him on Sunday at Washington because he needs to give a better account of himself than he did on Sunday.
Skip, you expect the man to get a sack every game?
Yeah, I need 2 sacks every game. You got to earn your money.
You got to be shaming yourself.
I'm sure everyone always comes up to you, Skip, and wants to debate LeBron. So
Mostly
I'm sure what
LeBron.
they would say about this, he's got a new acting role,
Yeah.
and I'm curious where that debate will go. We'll tell you next.
No mercy.
Time for our final topic of the day. LeBron James starred in Blaze Pizza's latest commercial as their most valuable employee, Ron. LeBron or Ron walked around his hometown of Akron, Ohio, giving out free large pizzas to people on the street. LeBron is one of the original investors in the pizza chain. So, Shannon, what is your reaction to LeBron in the ad?
That's what the man does. He a man of the people. Now, I know somebody that would be in an ivory tower or be in a booth with a velvet rope draped around it, but not my guy. My guy is a man of the people. He loves to be amongst the people because he doesn't consider himself bigger than the people.
Really?
Yes.
Huh. You know, it's funny. Last year, he actually often played like Ron the Pizza Guy,
there
didn't
you
he?
go. No, he did not.
He looked like Ron. Every bad game he has this year, I'm going to say, there's Ron the Pizza Guy.
Whatever.
Right?
It won't be many.
Huh. You know, what got me about this was I thought it'd be more like Undercover Boss, where you'd at least be slightly disguised. He doesn't wear a fake mustache.
No.
Or, like
He wants you to know that I'm Braun.
It's Braun Ron, the pizza guy.
And
right?
you guess what? I'm Braun and I'm passing out pizza. Not only am I an investor, I'm a client as well. I eat the pizza and here's a free pie for you.
Really?
Yeah.
He's boasting about arugula on the pizza.
Yeah.
Like Blaze has arugula.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Yum.
I mean, boy, I got to get some of that arugula pizza.
You need to go get the Blaze. Blaze got the great pie.
Do they?
Yes.
Well, this was better than that original fiasco that happened
there you
soon
go.
after July, that signing. Remember last July, a year ago July? Remember that?
No.
When he seemed to suggest on Twitter that he was going to show up the next day at the Blaze outlet in Culver City here in the LA area. And what happened? It caused a traffic jam in Culver City, and then it caused a near riot because Ron the Pizza Man did not show up at that location.
We assumed that because he put it out there, he said he might. He didn't say
And
he
then
was.
he rubbed everybody's nose in it by posting on, remember, IG, they're on the pool. They're having a pool party.
we at the
He's
pool.
floating on his raft.
Yeah.
Right? Way to go, Ron, the pizza guy.
All he said is that Braun
Yeah.
is a man of the people.
Is he?
I will never be
Yeah.
standoffish. I will always be amongst.
Well, they're not going to shoot this commercial in LA anymore because he's not loved on the streets anymore.
That's okay. They'll get
They
over
got to go back to Akron.
Once we win this title, we'll be
Yeah.
beloved
Just
again.
fine. He'll be just fine. Before we go, we do want to acknowledge that on September 11th, so many of you are in our thoughts. And guys, we'll be back tomorrow morning.
No mercy.
Thank you for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Keep an eye out for the weekend edition of the podcast tomorrow morning, featuring this week's best segments. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Fox Sports. One of one.